Hello, hello. It's the famous fake Stanley Cup. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Wednesday. I've been running around like that proverbial chicken missing its skull. I hope everyone's doing well. Awesome, awesome. Looks like we don't have an echo. How's it going? My name is William. Welcome to my so-called life. I hope everyone's having a great evening. I completely scored a sewing machine this afternoon, so I will be totally going off about that in a little bit. I've had a few adventures here and there, but it's been a day. It's been a day. Let's not act like we weren't here on Monday. I hope everyone's doing well. I just got back from young Mr. Sewing's MMA class, but it's on this side of town, so I was able to run back. Awesome, awesome. Let me make sure all the lights are on in here. Today I scored this beautiful. Well, before I get to that, I want to say hello to Trees Kilroy. So I guess it's Pepsi. I drink coffee, okay? But like I said 2 days ago, I like my coffee is just like me. It's bitter and sweet at the same time. So it's Schrodinger's coffee. Maybe it is Pepsi. Kidding. I'm kidding. I would never besmirch my coffee cup with Pepsi. Yay. Hello, everybody. Yay. Hello, Joy. Yay. Great to see you. I still have my soccer dad vest on. I'll put my so-called house of sewing vest on in a minute. I wear this beautiful vest to show my age and how disgruntled I am. Yay. Hello, Pam. Hello, hello. How are you? I had yet another unexpected infusion today. Tomorrow, another one. And I might have Hep B on top of the other thing. Fucking fantastic. I am so sorry, Kilroy. I am so sorry. Tonight, I full embrace the suck mode. Oh, if you lived any closer, I have a ton of those embrace the suck patches. Hey, Pam. Hello, hello. Great to see you. Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's get to it then. Today, I was feeling kind of froggy, and with everything that's going on, I have a certain amount of times to do things because my son has his MMA class. I have a lot of running around to do during the day, and we're supposedly on Christmas vacation right now. And so, because of that, let me turn the volume up on this. I try to sleep in, but it really clashes with my thrifting habit. But today, I was able to get out of the house. And I found this beautiful. Now, I haven't done any research. I can't tell you what year this is from. Actually, you know what? I'll switch to the other angle first. But it's this thing's old school and it loads in the front. I'll show you. I will stop talking about it. But I completely scored on that. And I went back to a thrift store that I have quite a few thrift stores in my neighborhood, but I rarely go to them because the prices are high. I live in the yuppie side of town, and there's a ton of traffic. Like anything, you can't stop your like anything can't stop your thrifting habit. True. Well, the holidays and stores being closed, stops my thrifting habit. I went thrifting yesterday, found a nice. Wow, you found a Cricut machine. Do you know? I wonder how many I've walked past. Do you know? I wonder how many I've walked past not knowing what they are. Now that you said that, this thing went off of my head of like, I bet you've walked past a bunch of those. I have a patch buying obsession lately. Got to be careful. I have man. Amazon and I are best friends. I buy way too. I am waiting on a patch right now. I woke up mad because it wasn't here yet. But before I get to any of that, this program is for entertainment purposes only, and this content is not intended to malign any religion, race, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by my so-called life and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every single human being on planet Earth. I hope everybody has a great evening. All right, let's show the sewing machine. This thing is old school. You can hear that pedal is I shouldn't bang them. Why did I do that? I'm gonna be so mad if it doesn't work. Why did I do that? I'm telling you. Thank you. I found one that came with 5 cartridges and a carrying roller case. It's on my list now, Pam. Thank you. That's awesome. You completely scored. How much do they sell in this store? I used to go to Michael's all the time, but then I found out that my local Walmart has the same thread cheaper. So I stopped going to my local Michael's, but they always had them behind the counters, with the gray singers. So I don't know if you can see that, but this is a Kingston sewing machine. This is definitely a Japanese clone. It is a front. You load everything in the front. So this is based on the old school principle on some of the older sewing machines, but the motor, this thing for Japanese clones are really hit or miss. Okay. So I got this and I'm like, this is going to be a beautiful wall hanger. This is going to be something that I may or may not use. It came with all the attachments, well, the ones that I could find. And it's really cool when it comes with the attachments for that particular machine. And it also came with the instruction manual. So in a little bit when I'm like, "Oh, how should I thread this?" I literally have the book right here. So that's awesome. It's been a while since I've scored an older sewing machine. I've been sticking to my guns and buying more relatively newer sewing machines, I guess. And so I'm stoked. I know that this is a Japanese clone. Japanese clones are famous because they'll take a name of anything. This is Kingston, but you can clearly see on the label it says made in Japan. I have a blind stitcher. It says United States blind stitching machine. It's made in Japan. So if it doesn't have like a brand name right away, it's probably a Japanese clone. That thing looks like a 1960s Cadillac sewing machine. Do you shop on Mercari? It's like a national yard sale app. I find everything on there and it makes the offers if you don't like the price. Kilroy's right. Do you know what? I'm so glad that you said that, Trees, because I don't frequent sites like that unless I get a resounding endorsement from somebody. It's not like I need a new habit. This thing's awesome. You always get a little extra prize, but come on, look at that pencil. Look at this pencil, and it's not even used. So this is getting thrown in my collection of hardcore pencils. It also has what I perceive as a replacement light bulb, which is always needed. I'm stoked. This came with all the accessories, a lot of the original pieces, and a bunch of razor blades. Don't need those. Let's plug it in. Let's plug it in and see what happens. I just want to say for the record, if my lights shut off or if my power shuts off, I just wanted to sew, man. I just wanted to sew and have fun. I'm kidding. I did not know about Mercari. I see the commercials all the time. I see the commercials for it all the time. But I'm constantly being advertised stuff like that because of, I'm a person who buys stuff like that all the time. All right. So It dawned on me earlier that the light didn't turn on because the light's not in there. But I already have this thing plugged in, so I'm not gonna go for a light show. But I was amazed when I fired this up. Anticlimactic. It's a beast. This thing is an absolute beast. And this is what I was trying to say last week, Trees, about buying sewing machines from the thrift store. When it comes to something like this, it's really hit or miss. Yay, it's Holy Bob. I'm so glad that you're here because I need you to tell me about my sewing machine. Yay. I logged on and gave an immediate thumbs up for that Morris. It says it's a Kingston. Please inform me about my sewing machine. It says made in Japan on it. This says Kingston. You know what's funny? My Morris was a piece of junk. And when I did research about Morris, he was a terrible human. He would find Japanese companies that were almost bankrupt, and he would come in, this is after and during the occupation, and he would slap his name on sewing machines. So Morris was kind of a terrible human. But it says Kingston, but I was shocked on how well it works. It still has the bobbin. It came with all the original pieces. I mean, this thing is solid. The funny thing is, I almost don't want to take this masking tape off because it says, please do not touch tension. They asked nicely. Let's see if there's anything in there. Why is it always brown? Do you know what? I think it's because brown was a color from that era where people would always sew from back in the day. But Ollie, I want to know if you could guess, what era is this from? And it everything loads in the front. So what era do you think this is from? Or anyone, if anyone has an idea of when you think this is from. Morris did some good ones. Morris, I've never thought I'd be mad at someone who made sewing machines who's not around, but Morris was a terrible human. Kingstons are good. Awesome. Should have a JA or JC number. Oh. Ooh, it has an N number, but let me look on the. You are right about that though, because they do they always have the JA. I didn't think about that. I more or less want to know what factory it came from, because this could be a Juki, Suzuki, Honda, anything, But it blatantly says made in Japan, and sometimes they actually would hide that symbol. So this one's out I love this machine. It's got that retro look. It's the color. You can tell. Here, let me take this down. Should be 61, 65. Looks 1950s. That's what I was thinking, 1950s too, because in the back it's the over here it's 1960s, but everything up here is 1950s design. Everything in the front. It reminds me of all the original singers that I had. But I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to attempt to thread this thing. And then we'll find out and see. I have a couple fresh bobbins over here. And the beautiful thing about this is that it takes the universal bobbin size. It's ready to go. That is not. I think I have to get that. There's like one bobbin that I wound that I don't know if it was too wound, if it's damaged. It gets stuck in the bobbin case almost every time. Oh wow. There's quite a few things underneath. I'm glad I didn't pour oil in here. I will always get a new pen. Oh, wow. I love these cards. I don't want to dox myself because they have my neighborhood on them. But like, oh, but these stores don't exist anymore. Especially this place. It's like down the street from my house. It's a Taco Bell now. It's not even a. Oh, that's awesome. So this thing was definitely repaired locally too. That's cool. That's really cool. It's going to take me a second to remember how to thread this thing, but this reminds me of all the early singers that I have because the thread guides and everything is in the front. When it comes to sewing machines like this, I am very self-taught on how to thread these, but I have years of experience. I say that and don't remember how to thread this. Hold on. This is definitely, oh, I'm an expert moment, and then I forget what I'm doing. All right. You know what? I'm just going to feed it. Oh, yeah. I have a feeling. Oh, before I forget, Trees, I'm loving your battle vest. I am loving I love you. Like I almost bought a fireman jacket, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna bite Trees' style. I don't like to copy people, but I really like your idea with your battle vest. Why do I get the feeling that this isn't the first time you said I'm glad I didn't pour oil in? Oh, it's so true though. So true. Oh, no worries. No worry. I'm loving your battle vest. I see that's the thing. Battle vests are personal, and I think a lot of people they fall in this trap where it has to be like everybody else. And Trees' vest is unique, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about is showing who you are in your vest. At least for me. And the people that I learned from over the years. Now I have no idea if I'm doing this right or not. But we are going to find out together. I love these old machines because they had 100 thread guides on them. Oop, I didn't catch that last piece. Oh, I'm doing that upside down for some reason. Perfect. Now, I could be wrong, but it looks like this has a shorter needle. And there's a certain year where they use a certain type of needle. But I'm sitting in a room with short Singer needles, so I think it might work on this machine. And most Japanese clones were made to be interchangeable with most machines. Oh. But let me go before I get too into it. Let me take off my soccer dad vest, which is so inviting, and put on my other vest. Oh. I always want to sing It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood whenever I'm changing my vest. Oh. Okay. It's cold, so I have my sweatshirt underneath my vest. But at my son's MMA class, I wear a certain vest that screams, I can fight too, I guess. It makes me laugh. Okay. And Kilroy, you're 100% correct. Sometimes I just dump oil in, and I would have missed out on these. And ooh, instructions to an electric deluxe sewing machine. I love stuff like this. Guaranteed for 25 years. I live for stuff like this. I have a drawer with instructions from probably like 1910 up until the latest machine. Oh, wow. This thing is certified and it even is signed. They were really standing by that sewing machine. I have an old black leather battle jacket I'm sewing on as well. I've incorporated parts from my old army dress uniform and metal patches. That's awesome. I have quite like I go off on leather. I love upcycling leather vests. I'll put some pictures up soon. Awesome. I love seeing other people's styles, different kind of battle vests. Oh, that it never loops that easy. Let me go get my scissors. I know I put them away. Oh. Oh, we're gonna find out together how this sewing machine sews. Because this thing fired right up, I haven't even really oiled this. So, oh, that's heavy. I'm really surprised I have not. There are discs that are inside of these. And on the old school Singer ones, if you slam them around enough, it will break your machine. It will absolutely, I mean, I'm sorry, it'll break your power cord. Okay. All right. Oh. I'm not gonna mess with the tension like the like this polite sign says. It took me a minute to get here because I have not threaded one of these machines in a very long time. But these Japanese clones are absolute workhorses. So I'm I'm dying to see if how this thing works. Let me grab some scrap thread, switch my angle, and we'll find out together if this is a success or a complete failure. But with a machine like this, sometimes I initially could have threaded it wrong. But there's only one way to find out. Yikes. All right. So today I completely scored this machine. And one of the reasons I was excited is because it can be I am hoping, Pam. I am hoping. Even when I had it at the counter, this woman walked up to me and she's like, "You scored, and you know you did." I was like, "I know." She's like, "That machine is all metal." I was like, "I may or may not know a thing or two about that." Awesome. Awesome. So, all right. Moment of truth. Failure number one. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking that's all me because the line snapped the second it went up. Am I over in? Okay, let's try that again. like I like I said, I could have utterly and completely threaded this wrong. I probably have to pull the tension tighter. Yay! You're cackling like a witch. I never once stated that I wasn't. Oh, it's my cackly lungs is what it is. I've reached that old smoky phase of my life. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is that it kind of bonked on 5. So I'm gonna dial the tension way up and see if that was the issue. All right. All right. Well, it sewed something together. Oh, that's and a lot of the times is these machines haven't been fired up in years. There it goes. There it goes. And the one thing is to check underneath. Holy cow. This thing threw down a perfect stitch. I scored. I completely scored on this machine today. I paid $30 for this machine. I completely scored on this machine because it threw down a perfect stitch. Let me show you before I do my victory laps around this room. That's the back. You can't even, it's so precision, you can't even see it. That's perfect. And that's the front. Oh, I'm stoked. Pam's right. I'm definitely going to use this as an industrial machine. There's a few things that I can see needs to be worked on. You can tell that this machine was used. I mean, all the time. Because you could see where someone rubbed off the top enamel from just use. Holy cow, this thing was used a lot. Okay, check again for the JANC number, and I have the manufacturer. Okay. Let me unplug it really quick because I'm accident prone. And I 2 white sewing machines. I almost set this room on fire. Okay. So I'm not seeing a JA. I'm seeing N16 5 2.99. N16 5 299 or 8, but it looks like 9. And underneath, problem solved. It says brother. It's a brother. It says brother underneath. You know what's funny, Alibaba? If it wasn't for you, I would have never looked underneath here because my only concern is getting this sewing machine running. It's a brother. It says brother even on the shaft. Oops. This is a brother sewing machine. And again, it's N16 52.99. Wow. So this is definitely old school. Heck yeah. For 30 bucks, I scored today. Under the front lip of the desk, or cast right underneath the bed. Well, brothers were made all over. Well, it says made in Japan. It has made in Japan, but the stamp on the base of the machine is brother on the very bottom. Brother Shaft or BB. Quote of the evening. Quote of the evening so far, but it's early. I'm gonna take a picture. Oh, I have something else I want to show because I went to we have this weird country fair thing by my house. Okay. Oh, duh. There's one right there. And its brother is stamped on the base of it. Oh, I'm so stoked. That's awesome. All right, let me get back into the stream real quick. Perfect. Okay. Timing's going to be off on that one. The JAJC should be right besides or where you have your thumb. See, and that's why it's bothering me because it's not like obviously right there. The only number I see on here is 16 repeatedly. I'm stoked. This thing throws down a perfect stitch. Well, I'm gonna have to open up my brother museum next to my right besides the brother. It just says 16. Here, I'll show you the let me get into my Twitter group and I will show you the picture. Dun, 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 dun. And again, I know they say this every week, but for the record, on the internet, it still says Twitter. On my search engine, it is still the artist still known as Twitter. Oh, okay. So I'm clicking on that thing like it. All right. Let me add this picture really quick. Do you know it's not necessarily easy work identifying these. That's why I'm laughing at myself when I opened it up and it said brother, because that's what I wanted to know. Oh, all right. I'll add that one. And I saw this really awesome. I don't know what to call it. Is it a sweater rack? Well, I was thrifting today. Let me see if I can. There it is. I don't even know what you call that, but I'm gonna zoom in and we'll read it together. There's the picture of that. Okay. So let me click on this one. This is when I opened it, I laughed at myself when I saw this. I was like, oops, should have known. But like I said, I've learned over the years how to identify a sewing machine, and then I met Alibaba and made it 10 times easier. All right. So this is what it looks like underneath. I laughed when I opened that up and it said brother underneath. Like it's stamped all over the machine. Oh. Oh, now looking at, it's funny, looking at that up close, this thing definitely needs some oil right now. But this is what I want to show you. I was thrifting today and I saw this beauty while thrifting today. Let me see if I can zoom in on the picture. And they wanted 95 bucks, so there's no way I bought the Williams Perfect Sweater Block. But it made me laugh when I saw it. After the knitted garment has been carefully washed, absorb the excessive moisture by rolling in a Turkish towel. Raise the arms of the sweater block to a vertical position and slip the sweater on. Lower the arms to keep them outstretched, sideways while drying. Any chest line may be acquired by stuffing towels between the garment and the block. They wanted $95 for that, and I could make that at my house. And so now I feel challenged. I could make that in 10 minutes. I feel challenged now, so I'm definitely gonna make a sweater block, and it's gonna be Williams Perfect Sweater Block 2.0. Sounds like it's made in the I can't even say that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, there we go. I was like, why is the sorry, my computer was bonking for a second. Wow, with the labels still. I was shocked when I saw that. When I saw that sweater block, I was like, but is it it stops wool sweaters from shrinking. Okay, but let me ask you a question. To any of my antiquing friends, is that worth $95? Or am I like am I being cheap? I'm just stoked that this sewing machine works. I'm really stoked. I bought a brother that was the plastic piece completely came off, so I have to like order parts and replace it. And for 20 bucks, I'm asking myself if it's even worth it. And for $30, I bought this beautiful machine. In a way, I feel sorry for it though, because I'm gonna start sewing leather on it. Because these things, they're meant to take a pounding. That's why I laughed when I saw it. Oh, we have a 25-year guarantee. It's gonna go a lot longer than 25 years. I'm so stoked. I am starting off this year exactly how I did last year. I'm kind of like apprehensive of touching the tension because there's a sign on here that says, please do not touch the tension. So I'm like back and forth if I should or not. It stops wool sweaters from shrinking. You got all metal for 10 bucks more. That's almost a spaghetti western, a few dollars more. And see, that's the thing. It depends on the value of where you're going. Like, I purchased this from a thrift store. If I had purchased it from the country antique shop that I went to, this thing would have been like $150, $200 because most of the time they do not know what they have. And I'm pointing at something that you can't see. I completely scored on this machine. It's perfect. And I don't know. Let's see if my Dritz holder can handle this angle. But it took a second and I was kind of scared. I was like, oh, are the feed dogs not working? It's just not plugged in. It's not plugged in. It's just not like completely lightning fast like other machines, because when you first fire something up after 40, 50 years, it takes a minute. Oh, that's perfect. And the power that this thing has, and I'm not kidding you, I just plugged it in, and again it's just throwing down a perfect stitch. All right. Looks fast to me. And see, that's exactly, Pam. I think it's slowly warming up. It's like, hey, I'm being used for my actual purpose again. A lot of sewing machines, I've noticed. That's why I always make my joke about soaking, because sometimes that's really what I do is I just soak it in machine oil and then come back the next day and they work like brand new. But, imagine if you haven't thrown a fastball in 25 years and then go try to throw one, you'll throw your shoulder out. I'm more scared in plugging in the light because I'm tool time when it comes to electricity and sewing machines, and I'm man enough to admit it. When I plugged in that white rotary that I recently pulled out that's sitting here, it shot out a foot flame. Well, it was more like an electric bolt. I don't know. I jumped when that thing, and I'm lucky I didn't set my garage on fire that day. And I've slowly learned over time. I also had, I can't remember what it was. It was a white, but it was more of a modern white. I plugged it in. I put my hand right here and it shocked me. So I've learned. I've learned over the years. Awesome. I scored an awesome pencil. All right. I've been doing a lot of rearranging around here. Just trying to maximize the space in the room in here. And also I want to be able to like freely get my 6-foot table in here. Because let's be real, for most of my projects, I need my 6-foot table. My 4-foot table works because it fits better in here, but I need my 6-foot table. All right. I don't know why that took so long. So this was a total and complete score. Excuse me. I have no regrets. And this box is out of control. Oh, it's got that weird snake skin green on one side. This just screams 1960s to me. And I knew I scored because this was behind the counter and there was something on top of it. And I asked the young lady, I was like, hey, can you move that thing on top of that sewing machine? And she's like, is that a sewing machine? And she moved it. And my son was like, yes, that's a sewing machine. I have fun when I'm thrifting. I have a great time while thrifting. And it's not, I'm kind of a geek about it, but with me, it's about the journey. It's about having fun, enjoying myself while I'm there. Because what's the point of having all of this stuff if I can't enjoy myself? And I tell myself that all the time. Oh, this thing's awesome. But I said I would finish my Fendi collar, and that's what I'm gonna do. Hey, Commander. I hope you're doing well. I hope the road's treating you well. The conditions kind of lightened up around here a little bit because everybody's where they need to be, I guess. Oh, what am I? There's like... Okay. There was like an endless amount of string I'm pulling. It was like a clown pulling a handkerchief out of his pocket. Yay, I hope you're doing well, Commander. I'm stoked. That machine threw down the perfect stitch. It's rare when you get something like that and it's ready to go, like right out the gates. So that was a complete score. And with those single stitch machines, they were created to do one thing, and it works well. I've been pretty hit or miss when it comes to Japanese clones in general. I know this is going to be a shocker to no one, but I own quite a few Japanese clone sewing machines. Oh, I have to take my fancy cowboy boots off. I rushed straight from the MMA class here. Oh. But I can't sew with my clicky boots on. Oh, perfect. I'm back to being 5'9" again. I'm really trying to be a little bit more picky when I buy sewing machines. So I'm glad that machine fits in my New Year's resolution. And I always say, like, you make deals with yourself. Like the New Year's resolution to do things like it's almost a guarantee to fail, you know. But in the new year, I am trying. I'm gonna stop buying complete dead sewing machines and putting them back together because I have quite a few that I need to fix. And the scrapyard here, the House of Sewing, is growing, so I'm trying to stop buying ones that need to be fixed immediately. And I'm into the more retro vintage sewing machines anyways, you know. But I love a good backup sewing machine. So I'm constantly on the quest for all of that. Let's be real. Let's be real. And now that I have a working serger, I'm okay with working with a single stitch machine again. And I have this baby lock. What did I do with those scrap pieces I just had? I have to give this. I did clean this the other day, but I'm thinking about completely taking the cap off and just completely cleaning it because this machine is a workhorse. Perfect. That is a nice backup machine, and it's powerful too. I need something that I can I don't want to say rely on because I have quite a few machines that are powerful like that, but it's good to know that like I've had a couple of days where just nothing goes right. Every machine I have isn't working. Sometimes I need to know that there's a solid backup machine in this room. And in a lot of ways, I feel like that about the Gray Singer because for all the crummy reviews, that thing fires right up and it's just as fast as my Husqvarna Viking was. But like I always say, I feel like they were all made in the same factory because they all take the same plug and they're all about the same strength. I'm not sure if that machine has a step down to it. I I've walked away from quite a few machines, but you know what it is too? It's the 19 when I see that 1950s, 1960s box, I'm like, what's in that box? And because they're having all these crazy sales, when I saw the price, I did the math in my head. I'm like, oh, that's $30. And I'm trying to teach my son math as well. Because when he saw the original price, he's like, it's not $30. And I'm like, let me show you what a sale is. So it was a good teaching moment. All right. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to pull out the Fendi material instead of just looking for scraps of it. Oh! Mr. Modelo is the MVP of 2023. There's been a lot of changes in the House of Sewing. I look back to videos from a year ago or even 2 years ago. I laugh how empty this room was. Okay. Hi, Skits. How you doing? I purposely rock out to that song before you hop in because it always gets stuck in my head. Awesome. But Mr. Modelo is definitely the MVP because I could make another long jacket with as much material as this man gave me. And I'm not kidding you. I told him, 4 yards, please. And he gave me like 12. So Mr. Modelo is truly the MVP of this year. I'm gonna go grab my coat. I think I know where it is in the quagmire that is this house. Beautiful. So most of the jackets I make are pretty much the same size because I make them to my size, you know. But like anything, I'm gonna measure it. I still have a ton of this fake Fendi material. And to anyone out there who's like, when they judge people for wearing knockoffs, remember maybe they didn't want to spend $700 for a t-shirt. And it's okay to wear a knockoff every once in a while, especially from corporations that make millions and millions off of you. All right. I forgot that I even had this much. It makes me laugh because I'm like, do I have enough for the collar? And I was like, oh yeah, I still have a roll. And for anyone who's concerned, I am still working on my red chaps. They're right here. If we have enough time this evening, I will I will finish them, but I don't know if I will. And do you know what's really funny? When I started working on them, I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, you know? And then I was watching an event and somebody was wearing the exact style in which I intended to make. So I'm like, you know what? There's a market out there, so I'm going to make them. All right. Let me check my notes. Oh. Today has been a crazy soccer dad day. So I want to know what's everyone sewing? What are you guys working on? I can't be the only person out there sewing stuff. And I have a question for you. I have a pair of pants that I'm going to upcycle. I haven't decided if I'm going to make a pair of Jankos or if I'm going to make bell bottoms. They're men's pants, but they're completely it's a button fly. I bought them with intentions of something else that they were never going to be used for. So I'm gonna turn them into something, you know. But I haven't decided if I'm gonna make Jankos out of them or if I'm gonna make another pair of bell bottoms. But like if anyone's watched my last video, my bell bottoms were so huge they got cut under my skates and I biffed. I biffed hard. I'm sewing Simplicity 8615. Awesome. Is that the overalls, Pam? Awesome. What's up, skids? Those bell bottoms you had in the last video looked good, so I say bell bottoms. I do love making bell bottoms. And plus, most of the pants I wear are pretty baggy anyways. Or bell bottom chaps. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Sold. I like that. I like the more ridiculous. I like it. Just received my box of work. Have not opened yet, but I guess I will be busy finally. But that's a good thing, right, Joy? That's a good thing. As long as it's not like 500 shirts or something ridiculous like that, you know. Even then, like, do you know making masks like Man, I had to take breaks because I was like, you will not make me hate sewing. But I made quite a few over and over and over. And when I was going through a bunch of my old patches and things I've collected over the years, I found every mistake I ever made making masks. Bring back the Janko. I was thinking about making another Janko video. It's one of the most searched things on my channel. Awesome. Awesome. Pam's making overalls. Awesome. I need to improve on the ones that I attempted just with no pattern, nothing. I still have them. And now that I have more of an idea of what I'm doing, I could easily fix them. Bell bottom chaps. I don't think we're ever made to. I like that idea. I really like that idea. Honestly, I think some women would love bell bottom chaps too. I was watching, and it's funny. I was watching some festival in Texas. It started because on Christmas I started watching concerts, and I watched Prodigy in Germany, and I rocked out. I always say like you can never judge a band until you watch. Like, well, I like going seeing people live, but like, oh, speaking of which, if you're in Southern California, some of the band members from Suicidal Tendencies will be at the Knitting Room in the San Fernando Valley. That's if you're in this Friday, if you're in the LA area. Someone, a buddy of mine, invited me to a show, and I'm like, oh, it's been so long. How old are we? I think it might be pants. Awesome, awesome. Pants are a great thing to pants are fun. You know what, Joy, you should do a tutorial because there's a reason why I don't put pockets on pants and I only put back pockets. Oh man, I have 2 flight suits. I'm gonna be making battle flight suits. That's awesome. I love that, trees. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the original stuff that like fashion needs to go back to like people showing off what they are. That I mean, where they're from and who they are. Like, that's why I got so into. I'm trying to say it properly. Sashiko, because in Japan it was people who couldn't afford to buy a new kimono every year, so they would add designs to their denim, whatever they had, and then it became popular. I I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go. I've seen Suicidal like 3 times. It's been so long. I kind of want to go. A buddy of mine who's like 4 or 5 years older than me was like, he was like, dude, let's just go. Let's go. So I'm thinking about it. Fake Fendi onesie with cape, assless, of course. Always taking suggestions. Always. We know where Skitz's mind is. Thank you very much. I live to give you a hard time, Skits. I live to give you a hard time. Oh yeah, it's been over 10 years. That's crazy. It someone that I've known from back in the day, I recently touched bases with them and they were like, dude, there's shows that are still going on. Because there's a place I used to go to almost 20 years ago, but it's no longer a venue for bands, you know. So, and I'm a parent. I'm not saying this because I feel like that cow that's just walking out to the pasture, but sometimes I don't have time to be cool anymore. I wish I did. Like even today, I ran around like a crazy person. I ran around like a crazy person, um, running errands, doing things for my son. And then after I got dinner, I'm running around and I realized I don't have gas in my car. So while my son was eating, I went and got gas in my car. You're already in the pasture? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is me retiring from that. And you know what's funny? It's kind of like when I joined that hockey league, I was kind of scared because I was like, man, everyone's going to be better than me. You know, I got in that league. They're drinking beer in the parking lot, smoking cigarettes in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, I'm good. So I'm sure if I go to this show, everyone's gonna be my age. Or they're gonna show up with their AARP cards. Oh. All right. So, you know what? I constantly talk about measuring. So I should measure this just to make sure, even though most of my coats are pretty much the same size. I'm having Popeye's chicken sandwich with red beans and rice. Was that like $47? I'm giving you, you know my gripe about Popeyes. I love Popeyes. I just wish that every time I went, it wasn't $50. Ah, and the Los Angeles Kings are beating the San Jose Sharks 3-1. All right. Okay, they're all pretty much the same size. I had to make sure. I really like this coat though, because besides just the fake Fendi, I lined it with that plaid that I had full intentions of making a kilt out of, but you know, after this year's kilt debacle, I'm kidding. I decided to use it as lining. All right, let me measure this out really quick because I do not need that much material. Perfect. Just looked. They are shirts with buttons straight down the center front. Oh, yay. Buttons and button. Well, on behalf of the House of Sewing and the Sewing Consortium, I apologize. That's awful. Yay. Hello, polished and assembled. How are you? Oh, I have to make sure my Fendis are pointing in the right direction too. Actually, it doesn't matter. Because I'm going to be wearing this Fendi coat. I'm going to laugh the day someone calls me out on it though. And they're like, oh, you're wearing a fake. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I know. I made it. Especially where I live, people wear Fendi. But like I said, when I started going downtown and stuff, like it trips me out that someone's willing to pay $300 for a t-shirt or $600 or $700 for a pair of pants. That's weird to me. I could win the $1 billion lottery and I would still be going to the Goodwill. Yay! Hello. You should come and join the fun, tired butt lurking. I really hope that was a tire. That shook my house. Or somebody's making something they shouldn't around here. I really hope that was a tire. There was a genuine explosion somewhere in my neighborhood. But I live next to a highway, so I'm hoping that's a tire. Oh, that was a real explosion, though. We'll find out on the news. Yay! Hello. Furry fake Fendi flip flops. Say that 10 times. Peter Piper could pack a pickup. I can't do it. If Peter Piper could pack a pickup, can't do it. Here comes the big one. Well, I live next to a highway and big rigs throw their tires all the time. Um, where I live, depending on what direction you're either going extreme downhill or extreme uphill. So, and if you're not used to the area, it happens all the time. We have laws in the state of California where the big rigs have to be in certain lanes. So they're all kind of huddled in the certain lane. So that was definitely an explosion. But as long as there's no rubber flying on my front yard, I'm okay. Awesome. Yay. Hello, hello. Oh, you'll know if there's an earthquake, I'm going to run out of this room. We will all go viral together because I don't want to be trapped by my own creation. I have 9 or 10 55-gallon bags of scraps above my head, and in this direction I have over 50 sewing machine tops and cases from wood to plastic and in varying age as well. So if there was an earthquake, I'm gonna run out of this room in full sprint because I'm not trying to be smothered by my own stuff. And I have a few things that are free hanging in here, so they're like my earthquake detectors. That thing starts moving, I'm gonna move towards the door jam. All right. That's real, man. That is real. I will run out of this room. And that's another thing. If it was like a big shaker earthquake, this side of the room would break my ankle. I would run because every single one of the black sewing machines are over 40 pounds. They're heavy. That's just the heavy side of the room. Where is the beak? Joy is on the Bring Back the Beak campaign. I've been rearranging in here and making some room. I moved. Let me see if I can show. I moved the mannequin because I use it all the time, but I moved it to where my gray singer was because I needed a little bit more room in here. But the beak will definitely be back. That's the first time somebody ever said anything positive about my eagle. It's the most hated eagle on the internet. I think it's because the eagle has no eyebrows. And so when something has no eyebrows, it scares us. At least that's my theory. It makes me laugh that people are so crazy about an inanimate object. It's an eagle head. All right. Let me measure this out. Watch a crack in the earth open up right below the sewing shack and swallow up everything you have. Man. Okay, I get it now. Joy loves the terrorize skits. Absolutely. I'm gonna hire someone to dress in the eagle head and jump scare you. I wouldn't advise that. I am so jumpy. I am so jumpy. And when I get scared, I go straight into my Billy Blank's Tybo stance. I actually know someone who still makes fun of me for that because we were at a haunted house and someone they caught me. They got me off guard because I was walking through thinking I'm tough. I'm like, oh, it's all fake. This dude jumped right in front of me and I was like, oh, and I screamed and jumped. Oh, good times. Good times. But I don't hang out at haunted houses anymore. All right. So I will take this to that size just to make sure it's long enough. Yeah, this is the wrong room to be in if there's a shaker. $87 touch and sews. If I got smothered by 87 touch and sews, then I would deserve it. All right. It's always the golden shoe, huh? All right, so I have done a little bit of rearranging in here, so the mannequin is actually right over here now. Human-sized eagle found beaten to death. I'm jump man. That's another thing. Like if what I've watched too much Doctor Who. If anyone is from a certain era, there's a movie. I don't know if it's called Mannequin, but it was actually a really sad movie where these department store mannequins would come to life once a year. I don't know if is that what it's called. I remember watching the movie as a kid and being like, I can't believe I sat through this entire movie. So if my mannequin moves, I'm gonna run. I'm running. Okay. I almost don't want to take the jacket off of this thing because I pinned it on. But I brought back Lucy's coat because I want to start wearing that thing. I'm gonna start wearing this, but I had to rescue it from my closet. Perfect. This is another one of my creations that is just long. And I actually had to cut some of it off because when I wear it, I'm dragging this thing. So I'd have to wash it every time I wear it. You know, I keep on forgetting to add that silver shirt and everything I made in 2023. I still have a few days to make part 3. They're making robotic automaton like mannequins now to show off clothes coming soon to clother retailer near you. You're gonna see me. I'll see. That's how I'm gonna go viral again. I'm gonna go viral again because I'm gonna see one of those and be like, "Nope," and literally start running. No way, Ollie. I might buy one. I should buy one of those things. They're probably, I want to buy like the 3rd or 4th generation. I'm sure the 1st gen will have a ton of glitches. Twilight Zone did a scary mannequin episode. I've been watching the modern Twilight Zone, like the more 90s versions. I forgot those episodes were amazing. There's a few episodes I watched last night, and I'm like, I forgot how quality this was. Oh, right. That Fendi coat looks good. My fake Fendi. I don't care what anyone says. I love the way the fake Fendi looks. right, let me cut this piece off the other side. Perfect. Perfect. All right, let's see how humongous this collar is. My cuts have been way off lately. Yep. What the heck are you watching back there? Oh, it's the Animatrix. It's basically the Animatrix. After all the movies were made, they made anime movies about different people either experiencing the Matrix or breaking out of the Matrix. I've I'm a geek though because this is from either the early 2000s or the 90s. Like I've been watching it forever. And over the years I started buying DVDs of everything that I love to watch because most entertainment is not necessarily entertainment anymore. All right. So, let's check out the size of this collar. But yeah, the Animatrix is awesome. And I'm sure you can get it on DVD, non-sponsored. Oh, should I cut this down a little bit more? Nope. All right, so I have to find something to add a little bit of integrity. It is trippy. I have to add something. I need to find a material to add a little bit more integrity. Should I use my flamenco? I've been using my flamenco material for everything lately for my collars. And for anyone wondering where I get this from, they sell miles of this at Walmart. I, I, I have to add something from Walmart on my Fendi coat. I do have interfacing actually. I do. I actually have miles of interfacing, but I've been thinking about saving my interfacing because I want to start making. That's such a good idea. Gosh, Joy, that is such a practical idea. Because I had this ingenious idea of making hats again because I had such a good time making hats last year. For 2 weeks, I just lost my brains and just made it. I was the Mad Hatter for a solid 2 weeks. But I made some really awesome hats, and I kept on trying to recreate this like Erica Badu, Pharrell, Smokey the Bear. But every time I'd make one, it came out different. So I have a bunch of really like mounty looking hats. Perfect. That is Norm using interfacing. I do have miles of it in this room. A medium stiff interfacing. I have I have the thicker stuff. It's like 808 or 809, and I use it because it holds up in my hats. Because you layer it gets pretty stiff when you use the 809 or 808. Unless we're going to Flash Gordon style. Emperor Ming look. I that whole era. And the cartoon. The cartoon got me through the plague. I started rewatching that cartoon with Ming the Merciless. There's a channel on YouTube And I always wonder about the legality or how they can get away with it, but they show all the Flash Gordon cartoons from the 70s. Or maybe they were early 80s. I don't know. The second you started talking about it, I got the music in my head and everything. And I think to someone my age, it just brings me back to a different time, you know. But they're really awesome to watch. I don't know what has taken me this long to finish this collar. Should I surge it? I already know people's answers when I hear, should I surge it? All right, perfect. Let me get my rotary tool. Usually by now I'm all like freezing, but I'm wearing my extra warm sweater this evening because I knew the temperature was just going to drop. We've had the strangest weather. It's like 60 to 70 during the day, then it's like 40 every night. But you know, I make all these sweaters. I have all these vests. It's a great reason to rock every vest I have, pull out every jacket I own, see if they still fit. That is one thing. Every year I have to pull out certain coats to see if they to see which direction I've gone. Perfect. All right, give me one quick second. Oh, all right. Now I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and then I will serge this collar and start sewing. Oh, it's weird to me because I moved the mannequin, so now it has its own place, but I have to remember to put it there in the first place. Perfect. You know I have a ton of stuff in here, but I try to maximize my space for as much as I can. I try to be practical. Says the guy who has hundreds of sewing machines. Oh. Miles of scraps. I like Joy's idea of donating to a scrapping group or finding people who are into quilting. because I have bags and years of bags. Almost every project I've ever made, I have the scraps of it in this house. Well, from like 2018 on. Yeah, I think next year I'm definitely going to switch my chair out. It's not that I don't love my Golden Girls chair. It's just that it is huge and I have to drag this thing around the room. Awesome. I have to move everything over here. Where is the cord for? Oh, this. This is the one that's not plugged in. All right. You know, that's the problem with a desk. Okay. My blind stitcher is the perfect place. It's the perfect surface, but I pile a ton of stuff on here. I have to back this chair up. So I love having all this space in here, but I end up just filling it with more and more stuff, you know? All right. I'm thinking about completely cleaning this thing out when I rethread it or add the other threads on because it's been so good to me so far. And I reserve the right to completely go back on that, but this thing has been really good to me. All right. Oh, beautiful. You know, I was thinking about going downtown, but I don't know if I have downtown patience yet. Because I have to have patience on the road. Because people are just nutbags in LA. And as somebody who is a part of that equation, I can attest that people drive crazy. So I have to like psych myself up to go downtown. And once I get down there, I love being down there, but it's just the craziness to get down there. And you know what? Every time I go down there, it's really not even that far from my house, but it's the amount of time it takes because of the traffic. Oh, all right. All right. Let's see how this looks. Let me take the pins out. And I'm already looking for the pin cushion that's on my wrist. That's a habit I never got used to. I never got used to wearing my pincushion, and I'm constantly looking for it. That's why that somebody had the ingenious idea of putting a band around it, and I still lose the thing. Oh, right. Let's cut the excess off. How long have I been? Oh, wow. I've been going longer than I thought I have been. Probably not going to go too late tonight because I am exhausted. Oh, beautiful. This is the fun part of attaching the collar. You don't even like wearing like a watch or anything, Ollie? Because one of the reasons I don't like wearing watches is because all I can smell is turkey soup, and that isn't ready yet. Oh, sounds good. Depending on what's in it. I'm on this whole anti-turkey kick right now, but that's just because my son cooks turkey legs like he lives like we're at a Renaissance fair or something. So I've come to despise that smell. Oh, that's perfect. Might have to iron the collar a little bit. I'm looking for a pincushion again. Oh, that's perfect. Let me get that in there. Okay. Might have to improve on that piece a little bit. This is actually going to come out really well. I know I say this every time, but I have no idea what's taking me this long. When I'm planning on taking a Extravaganza trip, aka Thriftapalooza or Thriftmas, and I am definitely going to wear this. But part of me doesn't want to go to Las Vegas anymore because of how overpriced everything is. One of the reasons that Vegas was such a crazy place is that you could be opulent within budget. So I can still go crazy there, but like there's just not as many people there as there used to be. Because the average person can't afford these insane prices they have right now. So I might drive through Vegas, and if I do, I'll wear this. All right, perfect. I'm like spotting. I'm like looking for any mistake or anything that needs to be improved. Because this one's definitely going to get some buttons on right after. And we're going to call it a day on this one. Because much like my yellow coat, I really want to wear this. But I've made so much lately that this has kind of been forgotten. Oh! All right. Almost all the way around. Oh, that's perfect. Sometimes I can tell if I didn't measure this correctly when I reach underneath, but I have just enough allowance to pin it. Perfect. Oh yeah, I'm tired. I can feel myself like going back and forth like a boxer. Beautiful. All right. So now I'm going to sew everything together. I am so stoked. I have all these old school instructions. I love these. I have a ton of old school instructions, and to some sewing machines that I don't even have anymore. Or I should say I never had in the first place. Oh. Beautiful. All right, let me move these scraps out of the place. No, watch, even though I have two really nice ones. I said the other day, because of my mom, I have a great watch collection. I do not wear them. I should though. But like the ones that I have that are like all silver, they look gaudy. Like I wear denim. I'm a t-shirt, literally a t-shirt and jeans kind of human. So when I'm wearing like these giant silver watches, they look crazy on me. But that's not saying I'm not saying that I don't love them all. Absolutely, because I know my mom watches the streams. I love everything that you buy me. Kind of. Oh, right. Oh, right. Moment of truth. I can't believe I just dropped these things. Oh. Do you know, it's been years and I still have not figured out how to master switching buttons and angles. Silver looks good with faded jean. True. With that fake Fendi material for sure. Well, I have a ton of silver stuff. I would have been perfect to go to Beyonce's concert, but I'm just not. It's not my thing. All right. Cut this piece. I still have a ton of fake Fendi material too, so I have plans for it. And I'm gonna try to go back downtown as soon as possible, because sometimes I feel like Modelo Man is like fly by night, and I'm gonna show up one day and he's not gonna be there, and I'm gonna be crying at an empty building. So I'm trying to take advantage of the fashion district for as long as I can, because a lot of those businesses are going out of business. And like, you know, someone else will move in, but then when they're new, they have extremely high prices. Perfect. All right. Beautiful. No mistakes so far. Beautiful. All right. Ah, Mistake. Oh, let's try that again. Perfect. That actually fixed it. I didn't know if that was going to work or not. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look. Whoops, wrong. So this is just the initial flip of the collar. Like, I'm going to put this on, but this is just like, we won't call it a mock-up, but I'm making excuses. I'm going to put it on and see what happens. I'm stoked. It's going to look great. All right. So, moment of truth. I finally put my collar on after all of this time. And when I find that microfiber material, I'm going to fix the collar on that couch one because that is a classic. That needs to be fixed. Oh, man. I have a sweatshirt with like wool lining and it is warm. Oh. Usually by now my nose is all stuffed, but that wool sweatshirt is no joke. Oh. Oh, this collar is perfect. Let me take a quick look in the mirror. Ah. Let me get my hat. So I definitely need to hit this with the iron, but it looks great. Oh. All right. Read them and weep. I laughed when I said that in my onesie video. I'm bringing back Read them and weep. The collar is perfect. As you can see, it's huge, just how I like it. It's nice and dramatic. Oh, fake Fendi for the win. Excuse me, sir. Where did you get that? I actually made this from from materials in downtown Los Angeles, and is a complete knockoff. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I work with a lot of different colors lately, but black and blue and white are my colors. So the fact that this is black and blue is perfect. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Looks really good. Nice color to it. Thank you. To zip or not to zip. With this one, I don't know. I'm thinking about it fits perfectly too. I'm thinking about buttons. But then I've been working on buttonholes. Because that is yet another thing that I refuse to do. I just refuse to do buttonholes. And I used to hand make buttonholes, but they take forever, Let's discuss that. Let's have a seat and discuss. Oh. Yay. Hello, Happy Maker. Hello. Great to see you. Thank you so much. Yay. Hello. Awesome. Easy but boring. I think that's what it is too. See, I need to. That's the one thing that the serger does. It flips up the corners. You're right. You're right, Joy. You're right. I just need to get on it and do it. Thank you. Yay! It might have the right supplies. All will be good. Oh, you're right. You're right. Just one of the built-in buttonhole machines to work, then set it up just for that. You're right. I do have. There are certain machines in here that I like should designate only as my buttonhole machine. And like my Janome, I only use my Janome to wound bobbins. I know that sounds crazy, but I only use it to wind bobbins. Oh, fake Fendi with the I love how this came out. I'm obsessed with the giant collar. It just I love the way the giant collars look. Yay! Hello, hello. Excuse me, toggle buttons with frogs, huh? Why don't you come and discuss before I run away? Oh, I'm trying to think if I have the material to the microfiber. I've been looking for like I do a project and then the rest of the material either gets buried if it's not like enough for me to fold and put back on my giant pile of fabric right there, then it kind of gets lost in the fray. Like I was looking for this and I'm like, oh yeah, I have a whole roll. Yay! Hello, hello. My fob sucked at buttonholes. See, good to know. Maybe I should use that Singer heavy duty for buttonholes only. Oh, that's hilarious. I have to see how this looks with my black cowboy hat. Let me go get my scarf. Oh. I wear my cowboy hat so much that when I don't wear it places, people are like, "Who are you, sir?" They legitimately do not recognize me without my cowboy hat on. It's weird. Even to the point where today my son was like, "You don't wear your cowboy hat as much as you used to." I'm trying to throw people off every once in a while. I'm super predictable. The guy who wears the cowboy hat with the and buys sewing machines, I'm easily spotted. And my hat is so ratty and so worn that I have to wear 2 bandanas. I love this hat. It is so beat up. My greasing would be perfect for just buttonholes, I think. Good to know. Good to know. I need to figure this one out. I have quite you know what? I have maybe my Scholastic machine. I have a Scholastic sewing machine that was in every high school. I purchased the one that was in my high school in the 90s. I found it in Ventura and I laughed when I saw it. I guarantee you that thing has buttonholes. But I use my file for sewing on buttons. Reminds me of Jed Clampett in his hat. I am super. The problem is because I keep on doing this. I've been wearing this hat for like 5 years. It's not even black anymore. It's just kind of like with the light on it, it just glows dust. I love my cowboy hat though. I am so loyal to this thing. I like that. Calling me Jed Clampett is I take that as a compliment. Oh, that's funny. I'm quite sure the Scholastic has a working. You know what? I'm so glad you said that, Ollie. I'm gonna pull that thing out right now because I've been cleaning, so I know exactly where it is. But it's a Scholastic. It was in every high school, at least in California. Oh. There it is. These sewing machines were in like every high school in the 90s. And I guarantee you the first thing on it are buttonholes. I'm gonna get that guy going. It looks brown to me. Well, howdy. It's because I wear it every day. It's faded, it's old, it's been chewed up. The light is not being kind to my hat right now. It is not. I wear this every day. I wear this at work. Like people do not recognize me if I'm not wearing this hat. It is the first thing, Ollie. It's hilarious. Oh, poor guy. It's getting so ratty. My cowboy hat is so ratty, it's not even black anymore. Oh, it is the first thing. That's hilarious. Oh, why, hello.
Hello.
We will be here, Joy. Did you see how my hat isn't black anymore?
Yeah, I thought it was brown too.
It's black. It's just ratty. It's my favorite hat. Oh, thank you.
Hello, Alibaba. Joy.
Yay.
I've been lurking in the chat. So
Oh man. I am fake Fendi for the win. I need
I
to
like how
iron
that
that.
came out.
Do you know what's really funny? From the day that I started going to downtown Los Angeles, I was looking for fake Fendi material because I remembered it from eons ago when I lived down there.
So is that just like Fendi adjacent? That's not quite the Fendi logo, is it?
It's enough to not get sued.
Uh-huh.
Like when you find real print Fendi, it is illegal to purchase it if
Mm.
it's not from the retailer. That's why like
Oh.
in New York, um was it Donatella Versace? She would walk around and buy her all the bootlegs of her stuff and then show the quality between like her stuff and the bootlegs.
Oh, okay. I do like the graphic quality of that print though.
And I thought it was super off, but then I recently saw somebody they got called out for a fake Fendi coat, and it was this exact print.
Oh.
And it was somebody on the Housewives.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay.
I mean, why would you do that when you're in the public eye and you're supposed to be this like rich socialite? Why on earth would you? That's just setting yourself up for ridicule.
Especially with today's world where people are hanging on every word you say, every thread, everything you do. They're gonna, me, I come out the gate saying, hey, I'm wearing fake Fendi. Like I come out that gate saying it. That makes me, but like the stuff in Santee Alley, the Balenciaga stuff, I can't tell the difference between a Balenciaga fake t-shirt and a real one.
Hmm.
And they have fake Louis all day long down there. It has a lot of trail dust. That's true though. I drive a tractor too. And because of where I live, I only put the canopy on this time of year.
Hmm.
And plus I want people to see me being cool on my tractor.
Oh yes,
Literally, like
yes, that's a
literally.
must, of course.
because that's what counts. So, how was your day? Any adventures
uh,
in sewing?
no, because I thought that someone was coming by to put in a new drinking water faucet for me and change the house filter and do all this stuff. And then I don't know if there was a mix up or what, but they didn't show. And so I was discombobulated. And then I've just been really tired today. So,
I hear you. I haven't felt it all day. I felt myself getting like hangry before dinner. I was like, oh, I
ah,
really like that reminds me. I have pancakes in my refrigerator.
ah.
I went to the Gracie Spoon and my new rationalization for eating such crummy food is I only ate half of what I normally would.
But if you
That-
eat the other half later, is it still really just half?
Yeah, but I would eat that in one sitting. Like,
And then eat more later. I see.
yes. Maybe I should take the MMA class. I'll start out as a white belt with all
Yeah.
the little kids.
Well, no, didn't you say there was an adult class after the other one?
Yeah, but they look grizzled. Those people, like when they do their tumbles, I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing.
Well, ask him if he's got a beginner class.
Well, it's also kind of weird because, like, oh, that reminds me. Sorry, I'm coughing my brains out.
While you're coughing, Joy's back.
Welcome
Hello,
back.
Joy.
You know what? It's just not my thing. Like I liked the hockey league because it was a bunch of washed up old guys like myself. Have another. He sounds my mom. My mom says that exact line. Oh, especially because she recently saw me smoking in my car and she's like, I know you're not a kid, but I have to ridicule you. Don't inhale your coffee. I know, but it's so lovely. So I'm in a weird impasse for on my black vest. It's
What
ready
do you
to
mean?
go. I don't know what patches to add on to it.
Oh, well, do you have some that you're deciding between? We can help you decide.
Yes, well, the back is kind of already decided. I'm gonna show you because I keep it classy, San Diego. Have you ever seen any of the Anchorman movies?
No.
I've only seen the first one because a friend of mine told me Jack Black says Broberham Lincoln, and I thought I invented that saying. And in the movie, Jack Black's on a motorcycle, and he's like, "Come on, Broberham Lincoln," and I'm like, "Oh, come on."
Maybe you did invent it. Maybe someone heard you say it and it filtered up to the writer's room.
Still mad. I'm still mad. Before you jump out because you're roboting, let me see if I can see a big version of this. I ordered a giant patch. This thing is 18 inches, I think. It's huge. But I'm going full Mayan
Isn't
with a
isn't that
pyramid.
um that seems a little close to a certain LA crew that you might not want to tangle with or tangle with their enemies.
No, it's a bat. Okay. All right, we're gonna have a talk right now. We're gonna have a talk. It's a
Do I
patch.
need paper? Should I take some notes?
It's a patch. I do my research. I try not to cross hairs. You can embroider a design on your vest with your machine. True. I did that. Is it in here? I made a Charlie Sheen vest because I was obsessed with the movie Major League. And I know he's not a winner in life. But he was in a movie I loved. Let me see if I have that vest in here.
All right. Well, while you look for that, I'm going to dash out and dash back in. Smoothify myself.
Okay. I think it might be somewhere else because I recently wore it. I wear it all the time. It's like a piece of my skin. I wear it underneath my, but I embroidered a few things on it. And it was the first time I ever embroidered straight on clothes. So I learned how to sew using my embroidery machine on clothes. I just need to explore more. I just need to explore more.
Sorry about that. What is it you think?
Oh, about embroidering on clothes.
Ah,
Because I did it with one of my flannels to my Charlie sheet. The movie Major League. Everybody was young. Wesley Snipes was in it. Tom Berger, Corbin Benson. Haven't heard that name in a while. He was in L.A. Law. There was a bunch of people in that movie. The State Farm guy was in that movie.
the guy who plays Mayhem? No.
No, the guy with the deep voice.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Okay,
and he
yeah.
also.
What's his name? Dang it. Yeah, I like him.
Jake. Yes.
Oh,
No,
wait, Jake or
no, no,
no?
Jake. No, Jake from State Farm is the other thing. I don't know. He was in a. The reason I know he works for CBS is because he was in a bunch of CBS shows, and I have CBS Plus, and obsessively watch Star Trek.
The the guy is he was in that one also, um the one where John Goodman's character died and his brain was put into this body of the guy, only they ended up like remember he knew who he was and he wanted to meet up with his wife again. What was it? What was the name of that one? Ah,
I don't think I've seen that movie.
no, it was a TV show. I love that
Okay.
TV show.
I
It
don't
was.
think I've seen that either.
Mhm.
Oh, that's funny.
And then State Farm guy was in that one with the that one with the soldiers, you know.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking of too, though. He was the one with the soldiers. Gee, I wonder why you and I think alike. But he's in that thing with the guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's so funny? Like, people who are non-specific used to drive me crazy, and I have turned into that person. I'm like, grab me the what's a have it and the who's are over there, you know? Like,
This is
oh,
bugging me that I can't remember that guy's name. It's right there in the back.
movies are funny that way. I'm stuck in a certain era, so I'm able to recall certain actors and certain things because I've watched it last week, you know? What do I know? I still watch Good Times, All in the Family. And because of Kilroy, I watch Chico and the Man all the time now. It's channel 8 or 6 where I live if you have Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
It's both of those channels. They show all the old school stuff on there.
I got rid of cable because I was annoyed with them.
It's also a hundred something dollar expenditure that like
Mm-hmm.
is needless if you I unfortunately raised my child watching television, and I don't say that like, oh, it's a bad thing, but like now he's like, oh, I want to watch the Discovery Channel and this and this, and I'm like, we're paying 100 something bucks to watch hockey and the Discovery Channel when they're both online. I like to embroider on felt pieces. I have a ton of felt in here. That's actually a good idea, Pam.
Once and Again. That's the name of that show with the guy. Sorry. The embroidery felt. Yes, that's a good idea.
I thought you were trashing my felt idea.
No, I
No,
didn't.
I went through this really weird hat phase where I made like for like a while, a couple live streams, a month or two, I was just making hat after hat after hat. So I have a ton of felt in here because I felt like felt was a good place to start, you know.
Oh no, Once and Again was the other one. So you made yeah, Once and Again was the other one. It was Now and Again. Oh dang it. You made hats with felt.
You know
Like,
me. Why make one when you can make 35? I
did you
made
have
what's that?
did you have that kids book with all the hats?
No.
All the little berets and like newsy caps and things.
No, but true story. I wore a beret because Daryl Strawberry, when he got traded to the Dodgers, he wore a Kangol and he wore an actual beret. And I remember my brother telling me, like, bro, this style won't last forever. And me and my beret, I was like, I don't care. I do not care. Yikes. I'm going to look that up. Let's ask. What year was Daryl Strawberry traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers? Oh, 1990. Yes, that's exactly who I'm thinking of. Do you know Google Google has literally killed more conversations, caps for sale. I made so many hats. Happy Maker, it's not even funny. I still love the Smoky Bear one I made. Let me go scare some spiders and grab that thing.
You made like a Smoky Bear Stetson kind of hat.
I was going for Erica Badu meets Pharrell. I think I've shown this hat off before, but it's Jamiroquai because I have a humongous hat. Just came out like Jamiroquai. And yes, we've had this conversation because I Googled Jamiroquai and he's not a nice human.
Mm.
See, when I pull it down, it looks good. Now I'm
Look like you're gonna go fishing barefoot with Tom Sawyer.
You're gonna get us both kicked out of like 15 clubs for saying that live on YouTube. Disclaimer, we're from the West Coast. We were not born near the home office. Everything said on my so-called life is from a certain perspective. Disclaimer, you're gonna get us kicked out of like
I
15
was just
clubs.
thinking
I'm
of
trying to
the
be cool.
illustrations on
I'm trying.
classic literature.
I read the same book.
Tom
I
Sawyer, I said. I didn't say the other one where you might be the other guy.
We're on the cancel bus, and I'm trying to turn. I'm trying. Big hats. We had to wear a beret in Scouts. In my Boy Scouts, we just in America we just had to wear the scarf and the uniform. Oh, also the hat of Chef Dan in the Clint Eastwood movie. I think that's another thing. I watched way too many. It's because I grew up around a certain type of people, so I like a certain. I was trying to make my own cowboy hat, but I need buckram, and this is 809, 808 or 809 interfacing. It's thick, but it's not like buckram.
Speaking of cowboys, I saw an ad
Oof.
for that new cowboy show with an actual black cowboy, like
That's
so many of them were. And he's wearing the hat like the one that you don't like. So maybe that would make you like it better.
Not Bass Reeves, my hero. The only reason I've ever been to Oklahoma, I've been to the Bass Reeves Museum in Oklahoma. You mean this one?
In the ad, he had a hat like that. The one you don't care for.
This makes me look like I'm gonna go in at 5 o'clock and eat dinner with my family on the farm. I like the big fictitious hat that never existed 100, 200 years ago because everyone was wearing bowlers. And this is a real Stetson. This is way too classy. Thank you. Thank you, Alibaba. Thank you. This is total Indiana Jones.
Oh, I never did see the new Indiana Jones movie.
I haven't either. I'll get it on DVD and add it to the collection since I own every movie they've ever. Isn't that sad? Like, I now feel obligated to finish my collections by buying these movies.
You're
So you like this movie?
completist.
You like this, huh?
I like that one. Which, personal taste, just because I like it doesn't mean you have to like it. But I thought maybe a different perspective would make you like it better.
Bass Reeves is an American hero. This is what actually I read a book about him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Henry Louis Gates Jr. wrote a book about him.
Oh.
And it's actually right there with an eye shot.
You should show us.
It actually has a really gory picture on the front.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There's a graphic novel coming out, and they're going to make a movie out of it too, I think, of Robert Smalls.
Okay.
The guy who he was enslaved, but he was so good at the work that they gave him that he had a lot of power and autonomy because he was captaining or he knew that he was captaining this ship that was running up and down the East Coast, and he knew the passwords and things. And so he made this whole plan so that he could load up a ship with a bunch of people who were enslaved, and he could run it through the embargo during the war because he knew all the passwords from his job, and he escaped with a whole ship full of other enslaved people. Wow. And went off to the north.
I'll watch it.
Oh, they're making a graphic novel of it too.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good.
I did not watch the Will Smith movie, but that has more to do with the fact that he walks around challenging people like it.
Challenging people?
You know, the slap, like, I don't agree with you, sir, and you'd slap someone with your glove and challenge them. Okay. I do declare, sir, we must duel now. When did you stop watching Will Smith movies? Where was that movie where you were like, okay, when's the last time that you went into a theater and watched a Will Smith movie?
Well, for me, it was more about the movie itself. Like, if I didn't want to see the movie, then but then that whole thing with the Chris Rock situation, that happened during the plague, and I haven't been going to the movie theater since the plague. So
I watched the movie that he made about the Williams sisters. That was actually really good, but I didn't see it in the theaters. I have never seen a Will Smith in the theater. Not even Independence Day. Where I'm from, that was an event.
That was a really good experience in the theater. Everyone really liked it. I don't know what history I'm trying to retcon over here, but back when it came out, everyone liked that movie.
That was amazing. When it came out, I saw it the night it came out at City Walk.
Oh wow.
And I remember that scene where the dude hits the glass, the whole theater jumped. It, everybody, it was hilarious. And I saw First Contact in the theater, and I won't give away the movie because I'm a Star Trek fan, but everyone cheered at the end of the movie, and people literally stood up and clapped at the end of First Contact. It made me laugh so hard. But we had missed Star Trek movies. We were starving for Star Trek movies. It was a good one. Oh, I can hear the music. That's like, it used to be one of my fall asleep to movies. Not Independence Day or Wild West was a good movie. And I'm sorry, but like, it's a good song. I'm a cheese bag. We're gonna get super canceled this evening. Wild West is what we thought we dressed like in the Wild West. In the show, in the original show, and the remake of the movie, all of it. Oh, now I have that song stuck in my head. It's a good song. See, that's the problem. And I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but where do you draw that line between the artist and the song? Like, if you don't like somebody, but their song is just like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard.
I think that certain people and certain things are more problematic than others. And so I haven't completely written off Will Smith yet. I kind of want to see what he does and what happens. Whereas some things are like so despicable. You're like, no.
Okay, but would you rock R. Kelly?
No.
They don't even play him on the radio anymore, at least the ones I listen to.
Yeah, he wrecked the ability to appreciate his music.
I always find that, yeah, but we still listen to Jerry Lee Lewis.
I feel like R. Kelly was, I don't know, maybe it was just more obvious. I feel like R. Kelly was more of a repeat offender and creeper.
Yeah, but Jerry Lee Lewis married his cousin who was a minor and paraded her around publicly.
He did. But I mean, he also, I don't know.
You know,
I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with the situation, but I don't see it as a complete parallel with R. Kelly, just in the same vicinity.
None of them. I like that answer. I never relate to artists to the work. It depends. I was having this conversation with someone last night. Like, there's a punk rock artist from one of my favorite bands. It's called NoFX, okay? Well, the lead singer is almost 60 years old. Still rocks a mohawk. Still lives the punk lifestyle. Shows up drunk to events. Still full punk garb. There's a picture of him standing next to people of the Smiths. The Smiths, they're dressed nice. And they're all the same age, and he's got full frohawk. Like, when do you hang it up?
Well, that's a personal style thing.
And I love this particular band, this particular person. Like, I've grown up with this person, but this person, like, last night kind of was playing devil's advocate, and I'm like, oh, that's a good question. Like, when do you or do you never change? Like, my grandfather wore 3-piece suits until the day he passed away.
I think that there's I think a difference between say kind of like living in your heyday or living in the past and not recognizing that styles change, and that something that was like normal and cool 30 years ago isn't the same, and that you should progress with the times. I think there's a difference between that and saying I'm a punk artist and this is punk style, and so that's how I'm going to style myself.
I'm constantly out of place. When people ask me my age, they're shocked. I'm not judging. I am that guy. I am Fat Mike from No Effects. Like, I get what everybody's saying. Like, but like, it's one of those weird things. Like, where is that gut off? You know?
I think that my issue with a lot of modern artists who are your favorite word problematic,
Super duper problematic. Favorite word.
like I think it's harder to separate some of the modern artists from their art because they're still alive and they're still here in the modern times with the modern sensibilities, and they have all of these opportunities to change themselves, to grow, to change their habits, to make apologies to the people and make amends to people who should be, you know, redressed for their.
But like, no one talks trash to about Mick Jagger. He still dresses like it's 1967 and has not changed his style ever. Rod Stewart, I saw an interview on Sky News with Rod Stewart, and I'm like, oh, Rod Stewart's stuck in the past just like me. Like, I was shocked when Rod Stewart was like wearing the big collar, and he literally walked out of his house and was giving an interview in the UK, and he was styling. So, like, in Rod Stewart's head, he's still rocking, like he's still, sexiest man alive in his head, but he's slowly turning into my grandmother. Where, I know musicians, the song is never the artist. I heard someone say some awful things about Rod Stewart, and I hope they're not true. Oh, and that reminds me, when the live stream's over, there's I'll tell you, I will remember. I heard
Okay.
some Chase May I can't say online, but it's good
All
stuff.
right. I mean, I have studied literature, and so, that so much of that is about separating the work from the artist, from the author. So, you know,
There has to be that line there somewhere. I find myself doing this. I have to remind myself that it's I've been listening to Bobby Brown for how many years? Since 1980 something. How many years is that? I have to remind myself, like, Bobby Brown has breathing issues. If you see him now, he's huffy. Like, he's a human being, is what I'm trying to say. So you have to remind yourself that these are real people, because you do start like falling in love with these people or creating these imaginary people in your head when that may or may not be the person.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like the successful ones know how to create a story and how to be evocative with the song. And even if the song, they wrote the song and it was inspired by some actual event, they're still like crafting a thing. And it's not like every moment of that is what they believe or what they are or autobiographical or.
True. I don't know. I ask myself that question all the time, like, where is that line? Because I know people that ride horses. Then I know people that like they'll call themselves a horse lady. Like, who they are, their lifestyle, or like being called a cowboy or a cowgirl is something different where I live. But really, it's just you take care of smelly animals. Said if we're having a bad day, it could kick you and break your ribs. Just to let everyone know, I'm going to be in my 80s still rocking a vest. House of Sewing. My tag's going to say old man.
Just don't get the lawnmower tattooed on your head.
No. I've been watching a lot of old school wrestlers interviews, and a lot of these guys made bad decisions in their lives. A lot of them got head tattoos. A lot of them. Well, it's Wednesday. We've been going for a while. We came, we saw, we conquered, huh?
Victory.
I I told you know I that sewing machine is awesome. That is a backup sewing machine. Did you see
I did.
it's pretty. I
I
love those
missed
1950s, 60s, 70s sewing machines.
I missed the beginning because my YouTube was weird. It was saying it was still upcoming even though you'd started. But I did catch like the end of it when you were flipping it over and you saw that it said brother underneath.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was a moment. The old wrestling vids have been popping up for me too. Do you know? I know the algorithm is always like listening or whatever, but it's funny how I'll talk about something and then it pops up. There was something else I was like, oh, I miss watching blah 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 blah. Man, I was scrolling through last night and it popped up, and I'm like, holy cow! As I clicked right on it and watched it, I can't even remember what it was. It's probably an old Bobby Hemmett video or something. You know what? Um, 2023 has been an amazing year. I started off literally by myself. Skits was there, but I was streaming every week by myself. And this has been a great year. I am grateful for everything that's happened. And I'm appreciative. We lost Mark Short, but he'll be with us as long as I'm around because I repeat myself. And he won't be forgotten. And I think that's what's important. So we have to remember that going into the next year. I'm trying to make you cry. You're almost there. You're almost that look on your
Hi
face.
Barry, if you're watching. Hi Mark's family.
But I just want to let everyone know to the like 40 or 50 people who watch us in the future. I love you. I know we have parasitic relationships online, but there's a lot of people that watch my streams after. You love watching my weird, awkward moments of silence, me ranting. I see you and I appreciate you. I'll be back at it on Saturday with my harrowing tales of thrifting, parenting, and everything in between. I want to thank everybody who's made it this far. I'll be back at it on Saturday. Do you have anything you'd like to shill, polished, and assembled?
No, nothing for me today. I did a whole lot of nothing today.
I need to do that. I feel like one day I need to like duct tape myself to the chair, but then I'd just be walking around with the chair because I got things to do. Oh, come on. All right, we'll go. I'll go a little bit. I'm closing up shop. I'm saying goodbye.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We can hang out. Everyone's gonna go to bed anyways.
It's like, for the love of God, I was that close to going to bed.
Well, no, it's I always say I'm gonna go to bed and then I end up geeking out watching you know what? I was gonna leave, I swear. And then
Sure you were.
Skid shows up the last minute, the kitchen's still open. Let's go. The kitchen's still open. How are you doing?
Doing good, It's kind of recovering a little bit. I've been having a weird cough, but no COVID or anything. But had a good Christmas. Chillaxed, didn't do much.
Awesome.
How about you?
The same. But you know what, honestly, lately, driving's been getting to me, but I think it's just the time of year.
Yeah.
Because there's people everywhere, because I do a lot of driving in general, and even for where I live, human central, you rarely see people out on the road like there are now. So I'm trying to have patience. Do you have that issue, Waterne, with driving? Do you feel like
with being patient, or I mean, what are we
just
talking about?
it's a little people-y,
Sometimes it's frustrating when people don't drive sensibly, but I try to remain calm and drive sensibly myself.
I'm in full soccer dad mode with like a lukewarm cup of coffee, no patience. Like people cut in front of me, I'm like, oh, come on. Like I think I need more sleep. Or I'm gonna start like, do any of you guys get hangry? I get hangry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I take steps to make sure that I remain a pleasant person. I bring snacks and I stop for food when I need to because yeah, I like to be nice, happy water nay.
I think it's because I know I do not participate in breakfast like I used to. I was a
Mm.
better person when I would eat breakfast burritos at work.
Maybe you should go back to that.
It, and I'll tell you, I used to make them, and then the place that I used to go to, they're no longer open 24 hours a day. So I need to
Sad
find.
news.
I wonder if I could like order something from Denny's and pick it up and just take it to work with me. I bet I could.
Or you could cook it yourself.
What's that? I never eat breakfast anymore. Thank you. I noticed the difference though. And another thing is I can't I have to eat something heavy in the morning. I have to.
Start your day off right.
But like the conversation you and I had, Waternay, not English breakfast heavy.
Mm.
I
Beans and
like a
toast and
nice
sausage
English
and
breakfast.
tomatoes and
Skits. Are you I have a personal question.
uh-oh.
Are you a separator when it comes to when you eat? Do you separate your items?
Oh no. After I'm surviving off of food in the army, I don't care. It can all be one big glob. I'm all right with it.
So one vote for yes, I vote no. We had this conversation because when I went to the UK, my biggest beef was that every plate that was served, anything I ordered, everything was touching. But I didn't want to be that picky American. Because everybody from the UK is like Americans are this and this. I was like, thank you so much. And in my head, I'm like, how am I going to eat any of this? And I don't eat mushrooms. I don't eat mushrooms. They put mushrooms on everything. I'm allergic to tomatoes. If you order an English breakfast, you get a full tomato cooked.
You can just say no tomato, thank you.
I get my items separate on the plate, even at the Chinese buffet. Thank you.
That's difficult.
I do the same. I get different plates. They'll hate you. But come back with a different plate.
Go to a Mongolian barbecue where they fry everything up. Like you're like, no. Keep them all separated. Like you just the noodles. You're like, oh, come on.
Do you want to know how bougie I am? My son, for 1 or 2 birthdays ago, I can't even remember now. We went to a really fancy place by my house where they do that in front of you. And everybody ordered a bunch of food. I ordered like a ton of sushi. And everyone's looking at me like, did you come here just to eat sushi? I do not like those wok places. If I have my own wok, I'll make you something spectacular, but it'll be enough to feed half an army. You will not be hungry. I'll do some chef stuff in front of you. I'll get the egg and crack it. Alibaba and I can go out to eat.
Well, I heated up some Christmas dinner leftovers and I made Mughlai chicken stew or curry chicken from Nigella Lawson. And I made a Moroccan vegetable stew.
Ooh.
And I served it with rice. And I just gave everyone one bowl. And I just heated up the leftovers. And I put them in the same pan when I heated them up. And I poured them in the same bowl. You wouldn't have been able to choke it down.
You know what's funny? This is how well trained my son is. When he cooks spaghetti, I will go in the refrigerator and I'll see 1 tub of sauce, and he'll mix the sausages and the sauce. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Put all the meatballs, all that stuff in there, but then the pasta's in another container, and I'm like, genius. This kid, I finally taught this kid something.
Well, that makes sense because of like a good way to reheat it. Like if you've got your pasta and your sauce and your pasta's going to get kind of soggy, and that's a different thing.
And we order a lot of pizza. I'm gonna say it flat out. I think it's savage if you put pizza in a bag and you put pieces on top of each other. I said it. I said it.
Savage.
I did. So like there will be like 3 or 4 bags of pizza in my refrigerator.
I mean, is it better to do that or just take the whole box and just kind of wedge it into the refrigerator and like?
So fun fact.
No, it dries out that way.
Well, I put it. I put everything on a pizza stone. The place I order by my house, their large fits in my fridge. I have to move the eggs, but it fits every time.
Savages stack slices. That's hard to say too.
It's a pet peeve because like I grew up, but my parents didn't care. Like they were one platers. They're like, oh, everything goes on one plate. Like, oh, we're just gonna shove the pizza and put it in the fridge. I'm like, no, I'm gonna eat that later.
Do you have to eat it up or do you eat it cold?
It depends on what kind of mood I am.
Okay.
I'll eat cold pizza.
Yeah.
And I have a controversial question. Will you drink cold coffee?
Oh yeah. I have half the coffee I drink is cold because I'm too lazy to get up and reheat it.
Reheat it?
Well,
Sorry, that was a bridge too far.
Get the hell out.
Good
And by
to
reheat,
know.
I mean top off with like fresh coffee, I guess.
Oh, you're gonna
reheat it that way.
I'm a reheater.
Oh.
I'm a reheater. Even if it smells burnt like you're at an AA meeting, I don't care. I'll still drink it if it's burnt coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even kidding. I'm
More
a
bitter the
reheater.
better.
Yeah. Makes the crust. Thank you. See, Alibaba and I are on the same page. I just finished my cold coffee. Exactly.
Well, are you stacking your pizza like crust on top of the cheese, or are you putting them like face to face or crust to crust?
Like what difference does it make exactly? I mean,
well,
as
if
far
you
as
stack
stacking
them
it.
crust on top of the other on top of the cheese and stuff, then you end up with the soggy crust. If you stack them face to face or back to back, then you can double stack them.
Okay.
Either way, I will silently judge you. I wouldn't say a word to your face.
But not so silently.
You would know when I wouldn't eat it. That's because I'm a big baby. You would know. No, I put them next to each other. I'm weird like that. I don't know what it is. I've always been like that.
You're made of money and you want to waste plastic bags. I get it.
You know what? You know what? I'll this is, I guess now it's the confession hour. Because I grew up around barbecuers and people who cook stuff medium rare, I eat my food well done. Judge me.
I'm leaving.
I saw this.
Really? Like a steak well done?
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But to let everyone know, my son likes it mooing. He's normal.
Good boy.
Well, he grew up around barbecuers, and we had smokers. I had a smoker when he was a little kid, so he's a meat eater, But I am just one of those people who, because I grew up around where you didn't have an option, like they'd serve it to you pink.
I was at it was at this it was a American Legion meeting, and it was a special meeting. It was like a holiday meeting where like, all right, we're gonna go to a steakhouse, and everybody, you can go get whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So everyone's getting whatever, and like the commander, orders a steak, and everybody, like, there's like 25 people there, all carrying on a conversation with in amongst themselves. And he's like, yeah, I'll take the ribeye. Da, da, da. And it's like, how would you like that cooked? And he's like, oh, well done. Kid you, everyone just stopped, dead silence. Started looking at him like. Finally, we got him like to medium well. That's as far down as we could get him. But then he orders with the steak. It would have been bad enough if he would have ordered steak sauce, but he just and a bottle of Worcestershire. And
your commander and I would have been able to hang out. I love Worcestershire sauce. I have it. It's fancy ketchup. I'm kind of allergic to it. I have it in my house right now.
I like my steak medium well. I'm not a rare steak person.
That
I
is
know that's
too
heresy
boot
to the
leather for
steak
me.
eaters.
Yeah, yeah, that's sacrilege.
Imagine when I was in Texas, anywhere east of Texas, people looked at me like, oh, there was this one place where I won't say what state, Mississippi. I ordered a burger and I'm like, "Oh, can I get that well done?" And the guy looked me in my eyes and was like, "Oh, you think you have an option," and walked away. And it came back pink.
oh
That's
no. No,
hilarious.
no, no. Not for hamburger.
Finished sewing the overalls. Still need to add the hardware, but that will have to wait. Don't have the right piece. But hey, got it done. That's awesome, Pam.
Nice.
Nice.
If you lived any closer, I would give you last time I went to Walmart, I bought the entire row of all the hardware. Awesome, Pam. Awesome.
Nice.
You've inspired me to like finish that pair I made 8 months ago and like it mysteriously disappeared because I did not finish them well. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice, nice. So, what's your next project? Both of you.
I'm kind of like I'm in a shell hole, and I'm saying that because that's the only metaphor I have. I need to. Oh, okay. Because like I've made a gajillion jackets. Um, I kind of want to make a Seinfeld shirt. There's this person that I know that made a puffy shirt,
Hmm.
and they
Oh, that kind of Seinfeld shirt. Okay.
and it inspired me. I'm like, I want one.
You
I
should make
it's
one.
So, is it raining in your area?
not yet.
Yeah, it's dumping here. I don't know how it is in the rest of California. Like,
You know what? I think it passed over us, and it was a storm by the time it got to you
no, okay, yeah, it's been dumping all day here.
because it was trying. Yeah, I think I did buy all this stuff. I had 1/2 inch piece. That's the worst. That's like I put buttons on my. I finally put buttons on my black vest. That's why I'm in this whole like, oh, what do I put patches on? But then I took all the pieces and I'm like, oh no, these are all gonna. You're married. You guys are all staying to it because I end up losing pieces and I go looking for them and I'm like, how do I have half a button? How does this even happen?
So do you put them in a bag or a jar or something?
I pick a sewing table and I put them in there. So this sewing table has all the widgets for the other sewing tables.
Oh, okay.
This that sewing table has all the mysterious screws that I find around the house.
Mysterious.
They all have they have jobs. Every single table in this room has a job. If there's a drawer, it's doing something.
I have a drawer in my Singer treadle machine, and any like random sewing machine parts that I find, I put them in that drawer.
It, it's worked as far as like I'm one of those people that used to always lose his keys. Okay,
Oh,
every
no.
night
Fair.
I put my wallet and my keys in the same place. It's been 15 years. I haven't lost my stuff.
Exactly. Then you're ready to leave the house. You know where they are. Like systems.
Oh, and it drives me bonkers when I lose my keys. It's like, how did I do this to myself? So I learned, and I've locked my keys in my cars at least 6 or 7 times in my 20s. So guess what I don't do I haven't done in my 30s and my 40s.
Fair. Good.
I was jumpy. I was just excited to be places, and I lost my keys so many times that my uncle was a sheriff. He had a Slim Jim. He gave me his Slim Jim.
Oh, goodness.
Unfortunately, left in the car with the keys.
He's like, I'm tired of. He taught me how to get in my own truck. Just large straps, but the overall won't even fit on me. They're too small, but they're muslin, so I can see if they will fit the person they wanted.
Muslims, what? Oh, sorry.
Oh, muslin.
So Godless, did you see earlier that Alibaba said that they got a new 4-cup coffee cup for
Oh, nice.
No. Can we have a serious talk of why I cannot get that 70? Like, for some reason, I'm scared of ordering that cup. I want to get that cup that's 64 ounces.
That's a
you
big
know
cup.
that too much caffeine will kill you, right?
Yeah, where's that line? So we're gonna find out
Ask
for
Aaron.
science. You pay. Oh right. Oh my God. Right. that lemonade of death or whatever.
I always make a mock-up of stuff if I don't trust myself.
Mm.
Muslin, a test pair, not for muslin. Oh, okay. I got a Hudson Bay 4-cup stainless steel travel mug.
Oh, nice.
I was
Very
thinking
nice.
about going old school and getting a big Bubba, but then like everybody will make fun of me at the construction site because those are out of style, and I'm not kidding you. I've seen it, and yes, I'm scared of ridicule in my 40s.
Oh goodness.
I'm man enough to admit it.
Of all the things to be worried about.
Yeah.
I mean, like of all the things to be worried about being teased about, because like you wear some like crazy swirl fur coats with a spangled cape and you're worried about your like coffee cup at the construction site.
Right.
It's a fine line I walk, and I do it fabulously, but it's a fine line that I walk.
What if you put some spangles on your out of style coffee cup and make it your own, like glue a
There you
patch
go.
on it or something?
Like
Sometimes I
sew a
think
koozie or something.
Yeah.
sometimes I think people don't say something for that very reason. I think that's why, like, because there are some folks I walk in and they're like, "That's really nice," and I'm like, "If I wasn't your boss, what would you say? Like, what would you really like if we were just
I
two
call the
dudes?"
police.
Yeah. If I was back on the front line where everybody is just mouthy, like what would they really say about me? But again, because I was always raised around my parents who were always in charge, like I was taught at a very young age to not like they were told me like some of these people are nice to you because they have to be. Like don't think these people are your friends.
I don't know if I showed you this last time. Like I got these patches when I was at the Zach Sabbath concert.
Oh,
And
awesome.
and if you came into just without context, came into, a venue and saw this as your logo, would you think that you were like, "Oh my God, am I in a hate group?"
I would not feel welcome there
Right?
personally.
Like, but like I get it now because it's a
Whoa.
Z and like an S and it's from the old Black Sabbath logos, but it looks
And
way too.
I, I can't help but feel that they did that on purpose because they wanted to associate with other little, zigzaggy
It was an interesting
insignias.
show. Yeah,
So
but yeah. But that's what I was like. I had to go online. I'm like, what is this logo? I'm not like Zach Wild's not like a openly white supremacist, is he? Like no.
I
Like
wear a
okay.
ton of his patches. I wear a ton of his patches. I think okay, so I'm a semi-boring guy, okay? And I read Amazon reviews. And when I buy all kinds of patches. So whenever those fake double S style patches pop up, I always go straight to the reviews. I'm like, "Oh, I got to see if anybody has anything to say about this." And most people are like, "Dude, this is Yahtzee-ish, you know?"
Hmm.
Most people are like, How are you selling this on Amazon?"
Right.
Because it's the actual double S's. So I don't know. There's that fine line because even oh, now I have to get my Fred Sanford one. Oh,
If you want to amuse yourself with some reviews, I recommend the reviews for the Bic pen for her.
For her.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
like this could get you in trouble. It's very bikerish, and the Black Label Society walks on that fine line. But Fred Sanford is not going to hurt anybody. People tell me all the time, "Oh, I love that. I love that." But like, this could be misconstrued because it has the 4 patches. So it's one of those funny things. But anyone who's a metalhead knows what Black Label is,
Yeah. Which Zach Wild was a part of, I do believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually seen him.
Does that do anything for you guys?
Yeah, it gives confetti.
Okay, yeah, because I thought I saw someone do that earlier. Like, ooh, neat. I don't remember that one.
Balloons. Love.
Need to move my angle. I didn't even shave and my head is looking extra shiny. And I'm actually kind of scruffy today. It's been a long time since I've been scruffy because I'm always so clean shaven. Are you a shave every day or shave every other? Or like you don't care?
Nowadays, it's like, once or twice a week.
Wow. I'm scared to grow a mustache.
Yeah, if I use just a mustache, like, nope, I'm.
Because I grew a mustache one time, and I knew somebody that had the full Fu Manchu, and he's a big, scary dude, full biker type. And I have a very distinct chin. So when I cut the Fu Manchu, my chin was out this much. Like, and I
like a Habsburg chin. Like,
I went and found him, and I sat next to him, and we were talking. And he was like, "What did you do to your face?" But I had this giant Fu Manchu mustache because I weirdly have straight hairs on my face. I have a beard right now.
Of the Fu Manchu.
It makes me look scary. It with my eyebrows and the Fu Manchu, it makes me look like a different person. It's a trip.
Do that with your biker vests and and your Shatners and.
Well, I don't like a lot of people. They don't realize what I'm talking about until I take my shoes off and we're eye to eye. And they're like, "Holy cow, your shoes are high heels, bro." They're like, "Holy," especially my Wolverine boots. My Wolverine boots make me 5'11".
Wow.
I'm 5'9". Like I take those off. People are like, "Those shoes are kind of make you a liar because you're not that tall. You are not that tall." I'm thinking lamb chops, but with the 3-ring curl left and right with the Ben Franklin glasses. I was thinking about making the tricorn hat.
Tricorn hat? Oh, like a tricorner hat, like.
I wear my cowboy hats like that, but that's more from it's an old school Bronco riding style, but it does kind of make me look like a patriot, kind of.
Paul Revere, kind of. Or is John Revere? Paul Revere. Yeah, Paul Revere.
I'm now thinking, no, I don't have the patience to grow a beard. I don't. And I didn't, you're going to make fun of me. Like, I didn't even really have facial hair every day until the plague. Because one day I woke up and I'm like, why am I shaving every other day? Like, I haven't gone outside in a week. And I quit shaving during the plague and I liked it, at first I called it my depression beard, but it just grew into my beard. I liked it. And now I feel kind of naked without it, but I like my giant chin. I don't know. I flop back and forth.
Why? Who says you have to have the same style all the time? Why not flop back and forth?
Oh, you'll know because one day I'm going to manically show up with a beautifully shaven chin. It's always
like, are you okay, Will?
I recently had this conversation. Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your friend cuts their hair to a pixie cut, you check on them. You check when your friend chops their hair, you check on them because there is something going on in their life. They make a drastic change and they say, I'm okay. They're not okay. They need a hug and a conversation and some coffee. I've had a lot of facial hair when I was a kid, but that's just was being able to buy booze. Same. I had a goatee at 13, 14. I had a friend. I have a good friend, and I will not say Anyways, he had a beard at 12, and
God.
yeah, he looked like a grown man at 12, and this was back, in the day he would walk into shops and buy beer like with no problem, you know.
That's
Years later, he was so good at it, he became like a professional narc and got like,
Ah!
oh yeah, and got a bunch of places shut down in my town.
Oh yeah, you started working with the cops and going in there like, I would like to buy some booze, please.
That's a good way to get an entire generation of children to not like you.
For real, for real.
But I was old, but like we were all old, by then. Like we were all way old,
I was more the other way. Like I used to live near a high school and I made sure I always had ID because I didn't want to get picked up for truancy when I was not a youth.
They're all taking you to school like, I'm 23.
Pretty much.
I feel sorry for the truancy. Well, we have sheriffs, and this guy was a truancy sheriff, and he thought he had to. He thought he had to. He pulled up. He was like, "Oh, you guys are," and I turned around and said, "Can I help you?" My son and I take walks during the day. He looked at my old face, was like, "I'm so sorry, sir," and he literally drove off in his car. Because I was going to read him the riot act, like, I am trying to walk. This is good for my blood pressure. My son needs PE. We are walking. What do you want? He saw
It's
my
also
face.
PE to whoop your ass, so you take your choices here.
No, but like I get it because at this point, my son and I are the same height. And I dress like a kid. Okay, I said this the other day, and I have to say it out loud. And I said this on stream, but no one was there, so I fell in the woods, and no one was there for me. I don't know if it was the day before Christmas or
And all through the house.
this guy was staring at me when I was coming out of the cigarette shop. Long story short, I was like, instead of being like, hey, I'm always like, hi, like, what's up, And he told me I look like a 25-year-old red fox. And I'm in my car. I'm like, I had my car door open and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, it's accepted.
You're like,
accepted.
Thank you.
I do accept that currency. I do. And I got in my car.
Like,
I know Alibaba was there on Monday, but like it's living rent free in my head because I don't know if he was trolling me because I caught him off guard because he was staring, or if he really thought I was 25. And I would like to thank that man. If I ever see,
was he a black guy or white guy? Like
white guy.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's a white guy. It might be considered racist. Like, well, what are you saying? We all look alike. Like,
well, I walking around with Red Fox on the back of my vest.
Fair.
And I wear my hat like suicidal tendency style all the way up. So like Red Fox wore bowlers. He wore hats with brims. So all you saw was this part of his face.
Okay.
I have the chin beard, so I'm kind of there.
I can see it.
But in the same sense, I do have that like, oh, you think everyone that looks like me looks like, huh? But it made me laugh. It's living rent free in my head because he paid me a weird compliment.
Right.
I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, I can't wait to tell everybody some nearsighted fool called me 20. And yes, I do drive like this. Oh, that reminds me. I put my truck in the shop and they're keeping it for another day because they just want to charge me more money. I'm getting
what are you doing? Which one? Tell us all about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna okay. I said this last year, but I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna get rid of my TARDIS blue F-150 that's in front of my house. It's a complete dud. Mm-hmm. My monster truck just needed a few things here and there. I just don't have the time to do it. Mm. And the state of California makes me smog my vehicle every year because of its age. I have to register. I have to register my truck every year. They only give me a year's worth of registration on my vehicle. So, I have to do this every year, and this year I don't know why I procrastinated so hard. And here we are. But I'm gonna take, but like I'm gonna get the truck painted. I'm taking time out to actually do something about like bring it back to its glory.
Nice. What color are you gonna get it painted?
White, just like it was. It
Like,
makes it's a weird thing where I live. It's a thing. Like everybody has big white trucks. I don't know.
the a couple weekends ago, I took my little buddy up to the airport. And we did a fly around tour in a biplane, and afterwards, I was talking to the pilot, and I saw his truck, and it was, I don't know dick about vehicles, so I'm not gonna get a maker model or year, but it was an old truck. We'll go with that, right? Really old truck, but it had, like from a distance, it had such a very unique paint job. So I had like it like almost looks like spotted. So I go up to it, and it has, and it's like has like little rust like spots coming through, but it's not like everything's like clear coated over. So it's like it has the original paint, but it was any spots that were rusted or whatever, like they fixed it and squared away. But rather than repainting the whole thing, they kept the original paint and the spots that they cleaned up and just clear coated over it.
Oh,
So
that's
it's like
awesome.
it looked really cool. Like,
It's called ratting.
is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen
Like
it before.
rat it out. Yeah.
Okay. It was,
There are groups that'll like take a new view, like a newer looking one that's not in that condition, and they'll make it look like that. Or some of them will do like faux paint jobs, or some will like,
My truck's
take your
ratted out
vehicle
right
and
now.
they'll give you like, like if you have, they'll do what you've seen and repair any spots and stuff, but they keep the character and patina.
That's crazy. Before I go off about what Alibaba just said right now, is that like those people that pay like $10,000 for distressed jeans? Give them to me. Let me go to work for like 2 months. I'll put holes in them. I'll put all kinds of weird chemicals will drop on them. They'll be all frayed and gross by the time that like it's weird to me. So recently, someone that is near and dear to my heart, aka my mother, bought a vehicle with a giant screen in it. I don't care what anyone says. Having a 22-inch screen in your car is distracting.
22-inch screen.
It's humongous.
Like I have a little tiny one that's just like with the radio and.
And I know for a fact that you can watch YouTube on it because I sat in her driveway and played with it. It's huge.
That's ridiculous.
Not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't even like my Ford Flex has a backup beep, and it's made me kind of like it takes like you lose certain skills when you don't use them, because when I'm in my truck, I have to calculate like I'm 25 feet long. So if I go back too far, I will wreck anything I hit because my truck is huge,
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a couple of things like my car, like like it'll it has the backup sensors, right? And backup camera. It when I get out of my vehicle, I don't need to lock my car, it locks automatically behind me.
Oh, wow.
But when I go and use the work vehicle, none of those. So I'll be like backing up, not looking behind me. I never lock the damn car. I'm like, oh man, this is bad habits.
My car has backup light, backup camera and stuff like that, but it's too sensitive. It's like I have driving skills so that I can maneuver and park. And what do you mean? Like you're beeping something 3 feet away? I think I'm about to run over something. And
Yeah.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves with those alarms. It drives me crazy. I was backing into the Goodwill, and I know people who back into parking spaces are borderline, okay? I get it. So I was backing into a parking space.
Well, what's the problem? I don't understand.
There's this whole debate of, is it a personality test of people who back into parking spaces? Like, are they not nice people?
There's nothing wrong with it as long as you're, parking in the space and not taking up two spaces and not blocking someone's door, or God forbid, doing the whole like quad space parking thing because you think your car is special. I don't care what direction someone's facing.
I will only go over the line if the person next to that space is over the line.
Hmm.
That is the only time I will ever do that. Well, it's different too. Like with my truck, I have to park in the boonies,
Hmm.
but I'll double park out in the boonies. It depends. It just depends on what I'm driving and what I'm doing at the time. Backing into a spot is forward thinking. Okay, so there's this grand debate online that people who back into spaces are a-holes. And I really didn't think about it until I watched this one podcast where they would obsess over everything. It was nothing but first world problems, okay? But I don't know. Do you think people who back into spaces are a-holes?
It depends. I mean, if you're like blocking traffic and taking a long time because you couldn't just pull in forward like a normal person, then yes, you're an a-hole. But if that's just how you like to park, or if you like pull in and then drive forward to the
Yeah,
other
pull
space so
through.
that you're, but like, what's the problem?
Whenever
Unless
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, unless it's like the parking lots where like they're angled parking, so it's technically it's one way. So
Yeah.
then you're just
Yeah.
yeah. Other than that, I'm with you. I have no.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I was backing into a parking space and I was mad because my sensor, my sensor, it was like beep, 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 beep going off. I was 3 to 4 feet away from the thing. I got back in my car. I told my son, hop back in. And I got back in and I backed up. That's my beef with the sensors. They're way too sensitive.
Agreed.
But I got rid of it. I used to have a backup alarm on my truck, and
Oh,
I would laugh when I would turn that thing on and people would jump.
although the number of idiots who like go up all stealth behind you when you're backing out of a parking space and you were backing out before they got there,
Oh
and
yeah.
they just like,
All of a sudden, there's a cart there.
yeah, what was that you were saying about too many people?
The grocery store I go to, every time I pull out of it, I'm scared of that because
Mm.
nobody. I this is actually a new pet peeve. When I was at the San Fernando Valley swap meet, I'm like, man, when you park, I get there early. There's barely any cars. When I leave, there is a sea of cars. I'm like hitting my beeper to find my car. I'm like, oh cow, I can't find my car. So I'm like edging out like I'm in Austin Powers. Okay. I'm like eking out like I'm in Austin Powers. Every time somebody thought I was going to pull out, they would pull forward. So they're slowly blocking me in even more. I literally got out of my car and was like, I guess we're hanging out here. I'm sarcastic. And they got the clue. Like, they have to back up. There's nothing they can do. But it's happening a lot. It's not, I thought it was just a specific side of town. No, it's everywhere. People have no patience anymore. So if they see you backing up, they're like, oh, they're going to go in that direction. Bruh, I'm going in the direction that you're pulling in. I need you to have patience. I'll be happy when the holidays are over. It's so sad, but like because I'm a real life consumer, I'm always at the thrift store. I'm always running around. The world's actually a really quiet place, and I live in LA County. But this time of year, everyone's out. So I'm annoyed. I try not to be, but I am so annoyed. Like tomorrow, I don't have to do much driving, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, like I typically will avoid cities in general, Southern California especially, like the goddamn plague,
Oh goodness.
especially if I have to drive. Like I asked me to drive to San Francisco. No, no, thank you. Like I'll park in the outskirts and take the BART in. Like
I should have done that every time. San Francisco is another place that gave me anxiety. I think that's one of the reasons I never lived there. I wanted to live there so bad. That was my dream. But at no point from 1999 on, could I ever afford to live there.
Right.
So expensive.
I remember an episode of MASH where I think it was BJ was like, "Oh yeah, my wife just kind of bought a little piece of land in San Francisco overlooking the ocean for like $2,000." That's like a multi-million-dollar piece of property now. Like,
That's like when I watch like I watch a lot of old stuff. I laugh when they're like, look at this IBM printer for $900, or look at this Pentium processing computer for $3,000. Like the same prices they're charging us now, they were charging us for those 1994 computers back then, you know? It's a trip.
right, and then you look at like, oh, look at this little 286 with 28 kilobytes of RAM. I was like, oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, my phone's laughing at it.
Right.
I still remember when I was getting a new computer for the office, and it's like, ooh, should we get a gigabyte of memory? Will we need that much?
Now you need that just to run Office. Like,
I'm sorry you didn't hear my laugh. Ha 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 ha. Are you kidding? That's like I want to play Reader Rabbit on my Apple IIe. I don't have patience for that thing to load. I have the disc, I have the floppy, I have the Apple IIe and everything. One day I'll pull that out. It just screams radiation. And it's so funny because I have nothing but Apple products in this room. When I pull out my Apple IIe, I'm like, I used to play Wheel of Fortune on this thing. I have the brochure for the Atari computers from 1982. It has the wow.
I was -1.
I still have my brother's ColecoVision, and my son broke 2 Ataris.
Oh no.
One real one and one replica. Back in the day, downtown LA would have emulators for anything, and they were $20. I walked up to this thing that looked like an arcade game, and I asked this young lady, like, "Hey, how much is that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's $600."
Ah!
She's like, "Open it has every game that they could ever cram in here." And I'm like, I asked her, I was like, "Have you ever sold one of these ever?" And she looked at me, and she's like, "Oh yeah, all the time." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "You've never sold one of these
You're
ever."
lying to me.
You liar. But they're cool because they look like the old arcade game. But it's just 2 giant joysticks and a board. So you'd put it in front of your TV, and it has every game known to man. Those used to be like $20, and now they're $600 apparently.
I bought this, which is just like a janky knockoff Nintendo thing, right? And like it has all the games already pre-installed in it, and it says, oh, has 250 blah 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 Nintendo games. So I mainly got it for my mom because she used to like to play Dr. Mario a lot.
Oh, I love that game.
So I go on it now. I'm checking the games on it, and there's like literally it's like there's I forget exactly what it was called, but it was essentially Mario in blackface running from Goombas wearing hoods.
Yikes!
And I'm like, that.
I would keep it just for the novelty to watch my friends fall on the ground, but that's super racist and scary.
Right. Who's modding these things? Like, what the hell?
See, I'm
Alarming.
I'm okay with a bootleg game, but don't change it like that.
Right.
I still have bootleg DVDs. Make fun of me from the early 2000s. I still do. And you know what? They hold up. It's literally some guy in a theater with an iPhone, first generation iPhone, or a camera,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've said this before on a live stream, but I have Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. It has Spanish subtitles, and the opening of the movie is in German. So they bootlegged it in Germany, and then they put Spanish. It was one of the most confusing movies I've ever.
Oh man, the first movie I ever well, it wasn't even called pirating back then. It was called like Juarez, but like was Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, such a good movie.
Man, good old Nicolas Cage.
You know,
appropriate that that's the one you stole.
Okay, but where is that line? Okay, this person paid money to go into the movie theater.
And
you're not pro people, are you? You're pro. Still to this day, there are movie cameras in downtown LA. I was there when they kicked all the bootleg DVD sellers out. It was actually a sight to see because Disney and the cops, they even went on the news and they're like, we're going to come after you. And they did. So in downtown LA and the abandoned buildings, there are obvious cameras. And they look like movie cameras, but they're controlled by the LAPD.
Just watching bootleggers.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore. It worked. You know, whatever they were trying, it worked because that whole genre disappeared. And that's why even the entire downtown Los Angeles was known for bootleg anything. That entire area is closed. I'll go down there with the camera. It's sketchy though. I'll go down there in my car because I have a camera mount for my car. But it's weird to me because that used to be one of the most thriving places in LA, and it's just it's a half mile of empty business fronts. And you would be able to get fake anything you could think of. They had the bootleg version of it there, you know.
Nice.
But it's
my
weird.
issue.
Oh, sorry. Please go ahead. I'm a rambler.
My issue with movies and things is that they refuse to stop operating under the old distribution system from when you had to like send a package with an actual piece of film over the ocean. You know, it's like they don't want to get to the modern times and they make it so difficult for people to watch things, and then they complain when people download it for free. It's like, you know, you're creating this problem yourself.
And they bury things like Babylon 5. Babylon 5 should be shown to every generation to, you know, I'm biased,
mandatory.
But it's like you almost go to jail if you watch it. Like it's so weird to me how it got, and it's not just Babylon 5. BBC's done the same thing with all of their shows.
Mm-hmm.
Blake 7, it was a 1970s, early 1980s masterpiece, and it's buried. You know, you will literally get a strike on your channel because I have on my off channel there, I chance it, and I have a few BBC shows, but they don't care about those. But I try to download a couple shows, and they're like, "We are going to erase this channel if you proceed any further."
Damn,
they're aggressive.
They fucking around with their English breakfasts and.
You know what? It's not like I have made too many enemies over there already. But like, I think as somebody who's been there, okay, I've been to Canada, from Vancouver all the way to Saskatoon. They separate their food and they make English breakfasts in Canada as well.
They're also Canadian, so just take that for what it's worth. Okay.
And they don't call it Canadian bacon; they just call it ham.
Rightfully so. Nowhere near bacon.
My whole point is, you know, it's a cultural thing. Even in Mexico, and I'm talking about the real Mexico, not the resort, not like, you know,
not Cancun,
not anywhere near the ocean. They will separate the rice and the beans, and they will separate all the food because they're picky at Mexico too, apparently. We are nice about those sorts of things. That is true. I did feel like I don't know, but sometimes I think like certain stereotypes are like kind of like not every single Canadian was nice, but Canadians in general were extremely nice. But I've been to like the South and people were overtly nice to me. It was weird.
You do know
Too
that when they
nice.
said bless your heart, that's not what they
Oh
meant.
no, I knew that one. I know
I'm
that one,
just
but people
Bless
were
your
like,
heart.
because I was expecting it. There was a couple people, but I was expecting it to be something else. Oh, and and did you want syrup? That is one thing. When you go to certain places, like I always jokingly get Louisiana barbecue sauce or something. Go there and eat their barbecue. It's the greatest thing on planet Earth. You know.
Mm.
Now I'm craving barbecue. We have now reached the food portion of the stream. Do you know this is the end of the year? I'm like burnt out. I've been doing 3 live streams a week for how long? I've made how much, you know? I think it is time. I was thinking like I was legitimately thinking yesterday. I was like, I think it's time to make a 15-foot Klingon flag. Or like I think it's time I would have to take that thing to the shop. You know, do you know what's funny? At my shop, we have cherry pickers. So I could get on that slow cherry picker and I could drape that thing.
Man found dead at the bottom of 15-foot Klingon flag.
Don't at your old when you were a kid, did they ever have like a parachute at your elementary school?
Oh yeah, where you like do the up and
Yeah, you just
down.
roll out of it, bro. You just roll. You just roll.
Just
You'll
roll.
eventually you'll get out of it. Just keep rolling. A flag wouldn't smother you unless you got stuck or something, you know. You don't need to serve waffles or pancakes for syrup that is also drizzled on bacon here. Oh, you're making me hungry now.
Surprised they don't just put it in their beer.
And that ham, back bacon, eh?
Eh?
When I was a kid, I played a lot of hockey, and I had a friend who was from Canada that had the real, like, come on, eh? And everybody would be like, say that again, please.
Stay in the line, Bart.
Well, you know, when you're from somewhere, you instantly notice when somebody has a different accent.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's what I try to tell people when they travel. If you don't want to be seen as an American tourist, just try to find out what everybody else is wearing as a pair of shoes. Because if you show up wearing a pair of Nikes somewhere, they're gonna be like American. They're gonna know, you know. And people in France are better dressed than all of us. Just get over it.
There.
Rajiv Surendra has a video on how to pack to travel. And he's like, okay, first of all, you want to travel? You put on your suit. And I was like, yes.
It's true. It's true.
Traveling used to be an occasion, and you like dress for the occasion. Like,
Well, there's certain places where you can get away with it. Like, for as much as we talk trash back and forth online, people in the UK will put up with you. You'll get a look or two. Things have changed though in the modern era because of the younger TikTok generation. I've seen so many videos of people who will never meet each other fighting. Like some guy in New York is like talking trash to some guy in London, and I'm like, you guys will never meet each other. You will never cross paths in your lives. Like, what are you doing? Now they wear pajamas on the airplane. I've seen. Okay, but to be fair, people get like you get stripped down at airports.
That's still not reason to wear pajamas.
I saw a video where this young man came wearing long johns, the bottom piece, and a beater style top shirt.
Oh no.
He would to me that's
classy.
underwear. And then he walked up to the TSA and they were like, just pass through. And he walked through and then he did this like victory chant. And I'm like, but you're not dressed, bruh. Like, where are you going? You better be going
Yeah.
somewhere warm.
You better be going to like off to the side to put some clothes on.
And that was a weird thing to me too, is that they like, because I know for a fact in a place like Atlanta, they will not, like, if you came wearing short shorts, they won't let you walk in the airport.
Really?
I had somebody that I follow online was actually national news because she was wearing shorts that were too short and they asked her to leave the airport, and whichever is the big one in Atlanta, and she refused and she got arrested.
Wow.
That's nuts.
And because she's on one of those chisme shows I watch, and I started looking into it, and you could Google it, and Atlanta doesn't play.
Goodness.
But I don't know. I'm not going to be wearing, I wear long sleeves during the summer, so you'll never see me in some, some short shorts in the Atlanta airport. But is that wrong? Should they have a decency clause at airports?
I mean, it's kind of what's on Reddit. Am I the asshole? Everyone sucks here. She should have been wearing that, and the airport should not have been policing her outfit.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too. I'm old school American. I think you should be allowed to say offensive things to people as long as you're not hurting them. I think you should be allowed to wear offensive things, but that's old school America. I don't think if freedom of speech extends to freedom of clothing, but like, I'm old school. If you're not, I don't know, you have the right to turn your head away too, you know?
I'm sorry, you cut off on my end. You have the right to what?
Turn your head away.
Ah.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Is that too much freedom for people now? I feel like people can't handle. People hurt my feelings all the time. I just move on with my life. Like, people say things all the time where I'm like, wow, that's not well thought out of. Like, but again, I'm from the old school America.
I think that there's a difference between somebody having some issue with you and saying something mean to you, and this sort of like systemic in society, I don't want to say hatred, but that's what they call it. But like if it's like if two kids get in a fight at school, even an argument or whatever, and somebody says something mean to the other and they're like, oh yeah, well, blah blah blah, like that's two kids getting in a fight. Yeah. But there's like bullying where all the kids are ganging up on one kid, or where one kid is like constantly picking on the other, and that's, for me, they're like different kinds of things. So like someone can like say something terrible to somebody and I fully like stand by that, but like, do I think that like there's a greater problem, like the way stalking is
in no way, shape, or
issue.
form. In no way, shape, or form did I say that my plan was well thought out. I am open to you poking holes in it, suggestions, and everything in between. No, I agree with you. There has to be, especially in today's world where it's just filled with half truths as well. Because you can go online and say something about somebody that you've never met and say they smell like cheese, and they probably smell like cocoa butter.
You were about to go the other direction with that, weren't you?
I was. I picked it up though.
You do that though, they can sue you. But see, like if you're talking about an entire people, then that's a problem, and then you get into.
There's actually a YouTuber right now who's being sued. Oh, again, she was sued by Cardi B, and now she's being sued by. Oh, I can't remember his name. I don't like him, but he's like short and he's really famous. Him and The Rock have that weird gay tension going on.
Oh, the Kevin
Heart.
Hart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is suing a YouTuber.
Oh God.
And because of this precedent, allegedly, you have to say allegedly, because we could be
Allegedly.
sued or held liable for things that were said about people, you know.
I mean, but that's not. I mean, that's been around for a while. You're not allowed to like spread lies about people.
I get it. I get it. I
I mean,
agree
that's
with
been
it in a
around
lot of
for
ways.
like centuries.
I don't even like the person who's being sued. I think she's a fallacious human, and I don't even know why. Like, she's the one that Jada Pinkett said she's gonna sue, and like she's in a bunch of hot water. But my whole point is, where's that line of freedom of speech, or like, is she just saying slanderous things for views?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we've already established through the whole, judicial system that you're not allowed to go and spread lies about somebody. There's a difference between like airing somebody's dirty laundry and making up this dirty laundry.
Yeah, but I amassed an army of people that don't like me, and they say all kinds of things about me that aren't true, and I just stand and laugh because I think a lot of it is more projection.
Yeah.
Well, but that's
Honestly.
that's your choice on how to deal with it. Like just because they legally are not allowed to lie about you doesn't mean you have to sue them. But if they are lying about you, you could totally sue them.
There was somebody who had a real beef with me, and when they finally said what the real beef was, I let out a villain cackle of a laugh because they made it up. Like, it was legit. Like, if they had a real gripe, I'd be like, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, 2020, I was there. But what they said was such a lie. I was like, this is what you're mad about? You're wasting your life. Because I don't even think about this stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of exceptions to that, like as Alibaba pointed out. But there's also like, if to use your example, I tell you guys, hey, this guy smells like cheese,
Mm-hmm.
and you believe me, and you go and spread that lie. You're not spreading a lie. You're spreading a truth, a quote unquote truth that you believe. And this, there's like that exception applies to even like media and things like that.
Yeah.
I agree. You know what, like, if it's not true, I don't even let it affect me. Especially I consider a lot of it to be entertaining because people make stuff up about you, and they always make you more exciting than what you really are. Like, someone will say something, I'm like, man, I wish I had the cojones for that. I wish I was that exciting. Like, it's just strange to me, the nature of I don't know, it's weird. And I see this all the time, and I would never say it to anyone's face, but I come from a generation of people, like, I was raised by adults in a weird way. And so when I no longer see the consensus, I knew people who didn't agree in any way, shape, or form politically, but they would come together, be cordial, love each other, be around each other, and not talk about politics. Or whatever it was that point of contention in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we no longer have that. Or am I being over dramatic, or?
I mean, as politics and just life in general, views has become so much more divisive. I see it just happening more and more.
That's why I switched my content to just talking about life and sewing. Because when the feelings get involved and you start talking about politics and certain things, you gain enemies. You do.
Yeah. And as a streamer, the second you bring up politics, you immediately, half your audience like, oh, fuck you, dude. Like,
Yep. That's why I stopped talking about it, because it's and there's certain issues that I don't feel the same way on every issue. So in no way, shape, or form, I take everything in a case-by-case basis. So if you asked me what my politics were, it's a Rubik's Cube. That's my politics, you know. So I try not to get involved in it.
And we tend to be so polarized too. And a lot of the things have way more nuance than we allow for.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But we live in a world of like the 2 second time, you know. I call it the 3 minute universe, but it's a really cool Star Trek book I read. But people they live in these we live in these echo chambers. Is it okay? I recently heard someone say that maybe they need an echo chamber. Is it okay to always hear what you want to hear?
No, I mean, you're not gonna improve on anything. Like if you just surround yourself with yes men, you're no. I would not like that. I don't think it's good at all.
YouTube, I've always looked at a really unique tool. So I am always seeking out new categories, new things I have never heard of. Like I fall into these groups. I'm like, I didn't even know these people exist. Let's watch them. Like that's the one thing I love about YouTube. And you know what? I don't agree with like 70% of the stuff I watch. I know someone who thinks I'm crazy for half of this stuff, who tells me I'm crazy for watching half of the stuff I do.
Yeah,
But I want
yeah,
to know about other people. I know all
yeah.
my stories.
I just watched a documentary on how the megalodon is still alive out of morbid curiosity. I'm like, no, it's not. But please, you know.
I
And
love
one of their
watching
pieces of
those.
evidence was literally a photo from a TV show, that MythBusters. It was like, oh, it was found. I was like, no, it was a prop they used in MythBusters. Like your channel name is Factopedia. I hate you. Like,
I've fallen into a few channels like that because I want to see if they have evidence or the new thing I've fallen into is watching these people who tear apart the UFO hearings. Okay, these people did say a lot of things, but there's some things that's missing. Evidence. Show me
mhm.
this thing that you walked into and you say like even last night I sat there and I was like, okay, cool. Where is it? I want to go there.
Yeah,
This is America. We'd have a concession stand in front. We'd be selling hats and t-shirts by the time I got there, you know? Like so I'm evidence driven in that sense,
yeah.
you know, but I love watching these people.
Yeah, a drunk Uncle Gary said, "Hey bro" story is no more convincing if it's said in the halls of Congress than it is at the Thanksgiving table. It's
I think that the part of the problem is there's so much about, say, our world or space or whatever that we don't know, and you have to keep an open mind. And so then you get people who prey on that and create some whole, conspiracy, or they use that to spread their whatever, and so it's like there's so much of the ocean that we haven't explored and that we don't know about, and it's so deep we can't get down there and all of that. And then they're like, oh, and this shark lived for 600 years, and they're out there swimming around, therefore there's a megalodon, and
yeah,
it's like, well, wait a minute. Somewhere in the middle there was a big leap.
hmm yeah.
Last
The,
night I almost clicked on a video. It had like an evil mermaid on it and it was like you don't know what's really in the ocean. And as my thumb was hitting it I was like I need to go to bed. This is a sign. This is a sign that I need to go to bed. And I did. I put it on the same old crud I watch every night, and I was like, okay, Worf, I need to go to bed. But I chose not to click on the woo woo video because it was so butt kiss. I knew I was just gonna sit there and be like, false, 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 and not sleep. That's my problem. Like I end up watching these things and I'm like, that's false, that's false. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh crud, the sun's rising.
I'll be right back. I need a blanket and a glass of water.
I know my heater kicked on. Loch Ness is real. They have pictures of that dinosaur. I have seen it on a fiction TV show. In modern day, like, it makes me laugh that people still fall for that one, especially Loch Ness.
Such an old one.
I would go there just to hang out and see the sights.
Yeah, go hit a pub
Yeah,
or whatever the hell they're called there.
and get a bunch of food on the same plate.
Yes, because haggis or whatever separated. I don't know what's.
Oh gosh, now that's gonna be something I'm googling. How do they serve food? And I'm gonna like Google how do they serve food in every country now. You know what though? I know that as Americans, we are something else. We are picky, we're brash. Like there's been times where like even there was one time I was in Mexico City and I saw a bunch of people and I'm like, oh my gosh, the loud American stereotype is real. Like what is going on? We're not the only country, but like, we're one of the we're one of them. I've seen a real stuffed specimen of the jackalope. Oh gosh. In Oregon, they had a myth about they'd call them snarps. They'd say, "Watch out for the snarps in the trees," and I'd be like, "I've lived here for a couple years now. I know it's BS." They're like, "Okay." They just tell the new guy the same story.
Yeah, I remember in Cub Scouts and the snipe hunts. Like,
oh yeah. Oh, what show was that had the jackalope? Was that America's Funniest Home Videos? That was like in the Bob Saget days.
good old Bob Saget. Oh wait, didn't he
Do
just
you
die?
know when I hear that music? It's the red, white, and blue. The funny things you do. That brings me back. The old America's Funniest Home Videos. That show brings me back. Yeah, Bob Saget did.
Yeah.
Not recently though. It was like a year or two ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember like he
It was
was just found dead in the hotel room, right? I think it wasn't. Yeah.
Let's just say like he lived.
Yeah.
He lived for real. He wasn't playing. And anyone who's ever seen his stand-up needed therapy after.
January 9th, 2022. So yeah, just about 2 years ago.
Have you ever seen his stand-up?
Oh yeah, it's raunchy.
Oh my gosh. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I need medication. It's weird. I've said this a million times. When I was a kid, I watched Night Court, the show Night Court on television. I loved Night Court. And then I got into Marsha Warfield's there was a woman named Marsha Warfield. She played the bailiff on the show. It was Richard Mall and Marsha Warfield. I started looking up her stand-up and I was like, I was like 13 or 14 when I got some Marsha Warfield tapes. I know I am aging myself. But she was a really filthy comedian. But on the show, she was Roz, the fun-loving bailiff,
Ah, yes.
It was an 1890s hoax. But when I was a kid, like, she was just this fun-loving person. And I heard her stand up and I'm like, Roz? She was raunchy.
Oh my God! Yeah. She was a big yeah. She was cool.
I played a Dr. Dre song, an Eminem song, when Isaiah was in the car and he's listening to the words and he's like, "How can they say that?" I was like, "We lived a little bit differently in the '90s than they." But it didn't even dawn on me that like they really don't have music like that. Like Eminem was saying some really awful things in this one particular song. But back then I was a kid, like not even listening to the word.
But people say all kinds of stuff in music now.
I can't
I
even
mean,
repeat. I'll tell you off stream what he said, but I can't even repeat what he said. It's that one song where Dr. Dre and Eminem. It's called Conscience. I think there's somebody's conscience. And, and if you listen to the words, because I'd really never listened to I listened to the words, but it's a banger. It's something I would play on the road, like driving or something. And then my son was like listening to every single word, and he's like, "Did they say that?" And then he's like googling it, and he's like, "They
Oh,
did say that."
guilty conscience. Let's see here. Oh my.
But as an adult, I was like, "Oh wow, my son is listening to this song."
Oh my. Yes. Although the line "Look at the store clerk, she's older than George Burns" is kind of funny.
Oh, Eminem is like, he said some just hilarious. Now I have that song stuck
George
in my
Burns.
head. Now yeah, it's a but I really never thought about it, and then my 14-year-old kid is like, "What do they say?" And I'm like, "Uh-oh." Back to Ozzy's Boneyard, because they're not
Yeah.
they're not cursing on Ozzy's channel,
I mean, I remember when that girl told me that they used to play "Rocks You Like a Hurricane" at her church functions, and I'm like, the bitch is hungry. She needs to kill, so give her inches and feed her well. You play that at church? What?
They used to play stuff like that at my church, like Dr. Feelgood. We have a church festival every year. Still, it's so big now, you can see it when you drive by. Like, because they have carnivals and all kinds of stuff, and you'd be surprised the songs they play.
I mean,
But Catholics promote, they want more Catholics, so they promote. They're okay with how you get there.
but then, I mean, I saw the video for WAP, which I know came out a few years ago now, but it's modern compared to, say, Eminem and
Totally.
Scorpions and whatnot.
Totally.
And that was pretty raunchy. So
Fair.
has
Yeah,
music.
but if you listen to like any Little Kim songs, she would get really like specific with it.
Oh my! Just looking at the freaking lyrics to that song you were talking about, "Guilty Conscience." Good God, man!
I told you that song is like, and I never really thought about it. Are you reading the last part?
Yes,
It's traumatic.
it's fucking awful.
But exactly, but that's what I'm saying. And my son looked at me and he's like, "Oh, you guys listen to this?" And I was like, "Look, we didn't listen to words, okay?" Like, but yeah, I told you, man. Like, that song's pretty bad.
And I can see why you wouldn't even say them on the stream.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to paraphrase
Right.
that.
Like I ain't getting clips saying this.
Nope. That gets you put on a list. That's what I'm saying. But I didn't even think about it. Like, and like, there's a lot of Jamaican music I listen to, and they're really anti-LGBTQI plus, and I never even thought about it. And then I started listening to it, and I'm like, "What'd you say? What did you say?" And like, but I've been listening to these songs for 15, 20 years, But I never listened to the words. Like Kurt Cobain says, you like the song, but you don't listen to the words.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Cobain was right. It's really weird that way. It's really, really strange that way.
Yeah.
But again, where is that line? Like, because there's certain things that I would tolerate, and there's other things that I no longer listen to because they say really inflammatory things. And I never realized it until I heard it and listened to it. All right. I'm almost going for almost 4 hours.
Yeah, I just had to push you guys for another, hour and a half or whatever.
Okay, so now, does anyone have anything they want to share? I said this an hour and a half ago.
Thanks for keeping the kitchen going for me.
So I'll keep the light on for you, like Motel 6 says.
I'd go get a snack.
Snackies.
Well, I want to thank everybody who's still here. Everybody who's we thank you. We really did do an Elvis. I even did, it's really funny. I even did the James Brown. I was turning off lights. I had my cape on. I was saying goodbye, and Skits popped up. I threw my cape off. I was like, all right, we'll do an encore. All right, encore. We got fake Fendi, a sewing machine, and 2.5 hours of conversation. So I'm here for it. Thank you so much, Alibaba. Thank you, anybody who's still here, and to anyone in the future. Like I said, you guys are awesome. I'll be back at it on Saturday with my same old crazy adventures. And like I always say, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time. I'm waiting for Waternays Hearts.
I'm waiting too. Looking like a fool.
Thank you so much, Joy. Have a great night. Have a great night, Joy.
There it is.
See you guys later. Bye.